Okay, we're live.
Week 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Share my screen. Just gonna take a quick pee. I'll be right back.
All right, man. Okay, stream's working. Everything seems good. Just gonna do promo a little bit, and then set up the stream. Oh, pardon me, man. Okay, CAF.
Okay.
Hey, man.
Yo.
Yeah, I tune into your stream occasionally just to see how you're getting on.
Yeah, it's going well with the amount of engagement. Anyway, a lot of people typing in the chat. It's pretty
I
good.
saw that. I saw you had decent chat, and I also saw your numbers are pretty good for YouTube as well. Like your viewer count was pretty good. I mean, that's expected because you got a decent sub count. But yeah, it was nice to see you with decent numbers, man.
Yeah, it's doing all right. I think we can start to build something.
Yeah, man, you got a great foundation.
We got we got 100 followers on Twitch.
Maybe
and
I was gonna say maybe sometime we could do like a chill/coach session where I don't talk to you much while you play, but I could talk to you in between games and see if I can help you keep off tilt and like do a little ladder session of you where I like give you some advice between games and like use it as like a instructional stream for your viewers maybe.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'll analyze your games as you're playing and like talk to you between games and not too much during kind of thing.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think that would be really that would be popular, helpful.
Yeah, we can like analyze the games together after in the replay or whatever.
Perfect. I had some people come in and ask me like, "Are you gonna do coaching or have someone coach you?" So
I thought you'd
I
prefer
think some people
being
would like that.
backseated by someone you actually know rather than just some random guy, you know what I mean?
Random internet troll, internet sleuth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I had this one guy who was coming in all the time, and he did donate and stuff, but he was like, "All right, this game, let's go 3 hatchery, 4 blah blah blah, this and like just random fucking build." Like,
You can't
you know,
expect you
at
to
the
just
very beginning, I'm like, Wow, let me just memorize all of that
Yeah.
and do this random fucking weirdo
Like,
build that makes no sense.
like only like someone that's at like an S plus, even like a low S would struggle with that. Like you'd need to be like almost like amateur pro gamer level to be able to like take a random build that someone just like spat out to you and actually like make it work on the fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding. And also one that doesn't make sense. It was like versus Terran,
Yeah.
and he was saying like take third base, 4 macro hatches, and do double evolution chamber, get upgrades with Hydra or something. Like it was just some fucking weird thing. Like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
So what's the lineup
so
for this
strange.
this week?
Lineup's looking pretty good. I think everyone brought their A game, their like
Nice.
the A team players.
Good.
So it should be a really good match. Can you see it on the screen?
Oh, now I can, yeah.
Sharp Light Mind, pretty fucking sick.
Holy yeah, man. Oh, this is a nice lineup.
Yeah, it's gonna
Nice.
be sick.
This is sick, dude. I'm happy about Mind. Mind is like Mind's honestly like one of the most genius players we've got. Like he might not be like the best Terran, but
Yeah,
he's honestly got a brain the size of a planet for this game. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you could,
he's something else.
if you could put like Sharp's mechanics and Mind's brain together, you'd have like someone that would like seem like Flash in his prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I can agree to that. Mind is definitely one of those guys you want on your team
Yeah.
if you're doing like a team thing. He's like a Stork or something like that. Someone who deeply understands the game.
Yeah. I mean, Stork's a dinosaur, but you can't deny like he's a pillar of Starcraft. You know, he's like one of the most experienced people out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he really knows what the hell he's talking about for sure.
Hmm. I just wish he was like
Knows
able
how
to
this game
perform.
works.
Like if only
Yeah,
if only he could like be a bit younger and like could still hang a bit more. It'd be cool to see him more. You know.
yeah. I recently casted like a series between him and Sharp.
Hmm.
Um, and he wasn't able to hang against like drop play and stuff like that,
No.
obviously, because Sharp is just so quick with the vulture and like
Yeah.
multiple counter attacks, like run bys and drops, everything just like ripped him apart. But then he went Nexus first and Sharp tried to punish it, and he just had like absolute perfect response, perfect micro, and just tore him apart,
Nice.
ended the game instantly. I
Nice.
was like, yeah, he's got something. He's got like a really good understanding of like what his opponent's trying to do and how to dismantle it, but
The Protoss
he's just
Flash
not
in
able to
terms of his
keep up.
understanding of the game. Yeah.
But just not
mechanics.
quite there with the mechanics, yeah, and
It's a
the
shame.
like multitasking. The multitasking is not there. But we don't have him here. We've got like probably the sickest lineup possible for Protoss.
Yeah.
Beastus, no mini.
I mean,
That's yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, yeah.
There's no one else you could put in that lineup to make it better.
Some people would say, "Oh, but what about Best?" But the thing is that like just Mini's like talented at PVT, like Best is in his own way, and also is really good at PVZ as well. So it's like, yeah, like it's hard to say like any player could replace these guys for sure.
Yeah, maybe Best could switch out with Bisu. I don't know. Though that's a difficult conversation to have though.
But I feel like if you're gonna have Snow and Mini, you don't need Best. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Snow and Mini are both got strong enough PVTs, I think, and I think you need Bisu to have a better PVZ here, just to like kind of guarantee. I don't know. This is my opinion. The way I'm looking at it.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I hope they send out Mini first.
Yeah.
I want him to just like perform without any like prior, games being played. So he's fresh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's when he plays best, is when his team is not like already down. There's no emotions, yeah. Where it's just like, yeah, the first man out just plays. Doesn't have to think about like his team's performance at all.
Plus,
I think it actually affects him.
Plus, if he wins, he can like start to perform like a beast, because it's like, yeah, you give him a little bit and he takes a mile in terms of like his like not cockiness, but like his self-belief. It's almost like he's emotionally driven. As soon as he starts doing well, he does really well, and as soon as he does bad, he does really bad.
Right. All right. I just made a little recording here to just check our sound levels. Just give me a second.
No, man. I'm ready to go after. I'll have a quick bit. Welcome to the stream if you're just tuning in. We're about to get started here.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I lost the lineup though.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep
Okay.
it hidden until the game is started.
Yeah, sounds good.
Beginning here. Oh, what happened?
It is Mini.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the KCM. It's time for week 6. We've got an insane lineup here today. So let's jump into game number 1. Hero versus Mini. Let's go. Oh man, this lineup is sick. Sharp, Light, Mind, Bisu, Snow, Mini, Action, Queen, Hero. We were just discussing if there was any possibility of like a better lineup than this. There are some, key people who are missing, but this is probably as sick as it gets, right, Shun?
Yeah, I don't think you can really get better than this. You could make the argument for someone like Best maybe replacing Bisu or Mini, but you wouldn't want to do that. You've got Snow and Mini, they're already great at PvT, and Bisu is a PvZ Slayer, so you want to have him in here to help deal with this killer lineup as well. And Hero is very talented Zerg, very underrated Zerg, despite being so well known already. He can pretty much do everything under the sun to the highest level. He's one of the most well-rounded Zergs out there. And then Mind is like the brain box of the scene. Like you put someone like Mind and Sharp together into one person, you've basically got Prime Flash.
Yeah, Sharp just so quick with the mechanics. We've been watching a lot of him on the ladder battle side of things, but it's really nice to see him here in KCM, and we're really looking forward to his performance in ASL as well. And Mini actually going to send out 2 probes here. Interesting. Going to go ahead and check the around the map. Maybe expecting a like a early pool here. I'm really glad we got Mini out first, by the way.
Yeah.
Really, really glad we got Mini out here first because he seems to tilt if his team's not doing well, and it's very nice to have him starting out here just completely fresh. No emotions. He can just play his game, I think, from this position.
Yeah, it's great that we've got him coming out first. He's a very emotionally driven player. And it looks like with this double scout, he was maybe looking to punish a hatch first or deflect an early pull. But he's going to be last scouting hero, so I don't think he's going to be able to make any benefit of these early scouts. So slight, small economic deficit, I would say, for him, which will delay the Nexus just a little bit. That makes him very safe against any early potential cheese and also maybe allows him to punish hero. And he did go for this hatchery first as well, so if Hero was top right or bottom left, that would have allowed Mini to maybe consider a cannon rush.
Yeah, I haven't seen a cannon rush yet on this map, but you may be right there. Maybe Mini has something figured out for this map for Citadel. A little cheesy position, a little tight corner that he can sneak some cannons into. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to bring it out this game, but maybe that's going to be in his mind for upcoming series and in the upcoming ASL as well. Very interesting always to see where Protoss players, the pro Protoss players, end up throwing down cannon rushes because it's so uncommon these days. It's so kind of figured out by the Zerg players. They're so good at deflecting them. It's really interesting to see when new maps come out, if the Protoss are ever going to be able to win with a cannon rush on that map, if it's going to be possible.
Yeah, and by the way, we have a horizontal entrance to Mini's expansion here, and he's building cannons right up against the wall. So Hero might go for a 973 quick bust here with just speed only Hydras, maybe 4 to 6 Hydras, and mass speed link could just bust down the front here. And one thing I would like to note is that Mini's gateway got delayed by about 10 seconds because of Hero's scouting drone, and that's actually a big deal because it's not only slowing down the Zealot camp, but it's also the tech timing of the core going down is also a little bit delayed now.
Good harassment by Hero. Usually it's the probe that's harassing the Zerg player, but able to get some slowdowns here on the side of Mini with just the drone. Always nice. Trying to track down this probe here. And he sees the lair. Will he cancel and throw down a Hydralisk Den? That is a move that you can try to pull off, but with only 2 lings, I don't think he'll be able to deny scouting. So he is going to let that continue to morph in the natural. And 1 ling going to block the entrance to the main here. Try to create some sort of, unknown here on the map for Mini. Ooh, he had an opportunity to maybe surround and kill that probe, but missing that. Does have quite a few lings out here, though, to catch this first Zealot.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the reason why these players are choosing not to say like cancel their lair and go for the den is because you also don't know if Mini like clicked outside of the base, then right clicks back onto the mineral. So even if you do block the ramp with say like 2-4 lings, the probe can still get inside and just reconfirm the scout inside the base again. So it's really difficult to commit to a Hydra den when the probe's already inside the base because they can just right click out and come back in again, or send the second probe back in from the vision of the mineral. So it can be really tough to pull the trigger on that if you're not sure.
Absolutely, and we've got the probe back inside the main base once again. It's confirming everything that's going on here, even harassing a drone. That drone is getting quite low. You do need to bring some lings to defend that. Hero is going to come around one more time, trying to get 1 or 2 more shots on. Does not manage to get that. Good job by Hero protecting his drones here, not losing any so far, and producing the bare minimum number of lings, I think, to overwhelm these Zealots completely and make sure that they can't get any damage on the map.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought maybe Hero was considering a 4-hatch Hydra play because of the timings, but I don't think he feels confident enough going for that here. It's cross map, and I feel like he probably is worried about being scouted by the Corsair soon. Mini's a very talented play. He's not going to just like fall over to a pre-storm Hydra bust timing. I don't think so. I think he's wisely going to just go into a macro game from here, and it does suit his playstyle more. He's a very macro-centric player, despite being able to do pretty much any build under the sun.
This is a build that is very popular on ladder right now, having the second gateway here in the natural and building a lot of Zealots early on, hitting a little timing here with about 8 Zealots, something around there. 2 DTs going to come out here on the map as well, so he's going to have some pressure. This is classic Mini, actually, building a bunch of DTs, a bunch of Zealots early game with some Corsairs, trying to get some damage rolling somewhere, trying to get some chaos going that the Zerg player's just not able to handle. But Hero's looking pretty buttoned up here. He's got lots of lings ready. He's got a few Hydras here. The DT going to take some damage. He gets a surround. Oh, great pick off on that first DT.
That's an amazing pick off from Hero, and yeah, Mini's desperately trying to create a ladder made from chaos in which to climb, but so far Hero is just dismantling him. He's managed to sneak past this other ridgeline, just barely not getting the surround on that. I really love this active anti-DT play from Hero. He's definitely prepared for Mini shenanigans this game, and he's got a great game plan so far, and just the bare minimal amount of units needed to fend off any kind of shenanigans that Mini can throw his way for the time being. Mini's going now into High Templars. He's got very early Templars and Storm. Usually you will not see Templars and Storm finished until around about, say, 8 minutes 30 or so, but Mini's got this ready and kicking like at 7 minutes 20. He's going to have a lot of Storms available in his infantry force, and so far, though, Hero's doing a great job of just keeping these Dark Templars back and screening any attempt from Mini, though. Looks like he's going to be going into the main base now. I'm not sure if there's a 2 Corsair. Yeah, 2 Corsairs just going to be floating around, sharking around to see if he can catch any of these overlords that are currently unguarded because Hero's been so active on the map with these Hydras that he doesn't have any defense right now for these overlords in his main. So Mini's seeing if he can pick off 1 or 2 of these, but so far it looks like great response from Hero in both regards, both defensive and actively defending against these Dark Templars out on the map. Yeah,
he's got the Overlord speed done now, so he's probably going to be able to save all of these Overlord. It's not a huge commitment to these Corsairs, and he gets the DT as well, so he'll be able to bring everything together to defend this Zealot timing attack. The Zealot timing is not as strong as it would have been because quite a few of the Zealots were picked off. He can break off one Zealot and start to hit this drone line, though. Hero not having all of his Hydras together. Some of them way over in the top right-hand corner have now been brought back. He's going to run into his Sim City here. As more Hydras pop out, the defense should be fine. He should be able to hold this off, but he's lost a few drones already. And this is some of the chaos that Mini was looking for, but look at all the Zealots just melting here. That was not the engagement that Mini was hoping, and look at all the drones popping out. Hero really confident that he could finish that off with just the Hydras that he had. Making a full round of drones, he's going to have an amazing economy to follow this up.
Yeah, and he's showing such textbook understanding of ZVP. Making a big round of drones just as you're about to win a fight is just like 101. And now he's going to just explode in his economic prowess, take a fourth base, and just really try and exploit out onto the map and prevent Mini from having any chance of securing a third or fourth. But Mini trying to be active with these Zealots out on the map like you should be, but there's just too many Hydras. There's a critical mass of Hydras, and it's really tough to come back from that. And he's going to be intercepting these Zealots from the eastern flank as well. Mini's forced to split them off into two groups, 4 going to the north, 2 to the south. He's going to save the 2 to the south, but these 4 at the top are going to be picked off. Maybe at least 1 or 2 of them maybe dying here, or at least getting a lot of their HP shaved off.
Yeah, he's going to try to run by into the main with these 2 Zealots that broke off from the group, try to get as much damage as he can. This is very hard to handle, but Hero, just so adept at handling these situations, going to pick off that Zealot immediately, pulling away the drones. Looks like he loses 1, but won't be getting many more kills than that. There it is, the Zealot falls. Damn, Hero is so good, but did I just see Mutalisk popping? I think that Mini might have seen that as well.
I think he did. And what's really strange is that as I was looking at those eggs, my brain just went muta switch, and then the mutas popped. And yeah, it's a great time to muta switch. There's not enough Sayers out here to deal with the threat of the mutas right now. And look at these. He's got all the way up to 10 Mutalisks. We can just start one-shotting these High Templars, and that's going to prevent any storms being able to deal with these Hydras. So even if he does storm these Mutalisks, it doesn't matter. Picking off this High Templar at the third is really critical right now. There's not enough storms to deal with this Hydra threat that's going to be coming in soon. And he's going to try and ward away any other High Templars we get out there. But beautiful skirmishing with these 2 Corsairs, though, going to be warding away those mutas to the east on this high ground area enough. But he comes back in anyway and snipes the High Templar. Both Corsairs going to be taken out too. And now these goons are kind of like left undefended and unable to deal with this Hydra muta threat.
Oh my god, Hero is looking so good right here. Getting that first Templar snipe was just so easy. We have this kind of ramp at the front that doesn't allow you to see. It's kind of blocking the vision, and he's coming in for some more kills. Great storms from Mini, but he needs to save some of these for the Hydra. Great storm on top of most of the Hydra, but the Hydra here already on the other side of that vision blocker, and more Hydras coming in as well. He's going to pick off this last Templar and a bunch of Dragoons here. There's no Zealot to kind of buffer for this. A lot of the Dragoons are stuck on the outside of this wall. The cannons are not going to be helping them here, and even with these 2 cannons, I mean, there's just way too many Hydra. The Templar that are popping out soon are not going to have energy to storm, and more Hydras are spilling forward here. He's going to take a moment to break down this wall, but Mini is on the ropes here. He's not going to be able to hold on for much longer. With just Dragoons popping out, Hydra will be perfect for breaking this natural and taking this game home. Here we go. Hydra's coming forward here, and behind this, just massive splotches of red moving into position. A few Zealots going to pop out at the last moment, but some good micro here from Hero as he pushes forward. There's the 2 Templar, but they do not have energy. All the Dragoons are going to die before they have that storm. Hydra's pushing forward here for the win, and there's nothing that Mini can do. GG is called, and he taps out. Hero, perfect. Absolutely perfect ZVP there.
Saying,
Jesus.
do you know what you could do?
Yeah.
At the end of that game, after you say like perfect game and all that shit, you could have like, you know, like the like in fighter games where you've got that like perfect like sound of, so you just have that come in as part of the edit. Trust me. Trust me.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Might be able to mix that in. All right. let's see. I just need to...
I'm going to be right 1 second.
Okay.
이 작업이 잘 안 나오는 게 유닛과 유닛의 싸움에서 그게 벌어집니다. 뮤탈과 마린마의 되게 싸움 뭐 이런 데서 벌어지기 때문에 컨트롤적으로 되게 중요하거든요. 예. 오늘의 컨트롤도 한번 봐야겠죠.
자, 여기서 조일장 선수가 박성균 선수를 잡으면 지금 포시에 있는 고석현 선수를 끌어내립니다. 자, 준비 끝났습니다. 오늘 두 번째 경기 조일장 박성균 블리치 출발합니다.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Perfect timing.
자, 6주차 두 번째 경기 시작이 됐고요. 해파리 형님, 캐스터님
It's never late.
아디다스 스폰서
Greetings from Winnipeg. Oh, thank you. You're very welcome.
다음 주에는 나이키로 할까?
Hero coming off of basically a perfect win there in that first game. So impressed with his ability to handle the shenanigans of Mini, and Mini looking almost impotent in that game. Unable to do really anything against the might of Hero. Now, Mind coming out here on Blitz Y. Can he take a win against this guy after that performance? I wouldn't be too confident.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be scary going up against Lugs of Hero. Now, this map does work for him just a little bit. It's very difficult for Zergs to secure a third here. You are tempted to take this natural third on the kind of catwalk area, but it's very easy for Terrans to come down that line and just bust you. So it can be a little bit tricky to get the third gas online here. So we might see a little bit of shenanigans out of Hero to kind of control the state of the game. Maybe even seeing a 2 hatch or 2.5 hatch build out of him to kind of keep the flow under control and prevent Mine from establishing any kind of dominance on this catwalk early on. But we'll have to wait and see. But the likes of Mind against Hero, I mean, he has the smarts, but does he have the mechanics to keep up with someone like Hero?
Well, I think the map is going to play a big factor here for sure. Mind, with his game understanding, maybe he can find a way to abuse this map. And as you were saying, it is difficult with the third gas, getting that online. I don't know, maybe the center left might be a good option. I haven't really thought about it too much, but do you think that maybe center left could be a bit defendable? It is a small choke, and it's just a single choke, whereas bottom left has 2 chokes, and they're quite large, and then the catwalk is like a high ground, but it has a very wide area to defend.
Well, the largest issue with expanding anywhere else besides this natural third is the inability to keep track of the Terran bio. So it's very easy for the Terran bio just to show up at your door at the third base and snipe the hatchery when your muters are distracted somewhere else. So you really want to kind of keep the base layout as linear as possible so that you don't get blindsided by just a random bio move out. And even someone like Mong will send like a small like auxiliary force of bio out onto the map and try and run around the entire map just to like snipe your third base, and it can be really tricky to catch that as Zerg if it's in an awkward position.
That makes sense. We got the first Marine headed across the map here, but we're going to be starting our command center behind this. Not going to be putting on too much pressure, but does want to force at least 4 Lings out of Hero here early. Being a little bit annoying with the harassment on this mineral patch here. And the first Marine arrives, but 2 drones just going to bail out of the natural fight from the high ground here. Getting some really good damage from these drones onto the SCV. You're not going to be able to make a bunker here if your SCV is in red health already, so Hero can be pretty confident that there won't be a bunker coming online now. And with just 4 Lings out, that should be enough to hold off everything. The subtle back and forth between the Terran and Zerg in the early game has been well walked here by Hero. And we're just going to see Mind pull all the way back. He's trying to avoid walking past this Overlord here, keeping a bit of an unknown on the map for Hero for now. But eventually he will retreat to that wall.
Yeah, general rule of thumb in Terran versus Zerg, you want to keep your bio, even at these stages of the game, hidden from view, because it just keeps that like element of what's going to happen in the Zerg's mind, and that may just force an extra pair of Zerglings, which is one less drone, or maybe even a creep colony. It's even a bit bigger value. So in this early game, mine did basically deny a little bit of mining time from Hero, but yeah, he didn't really accomplish much besides that. And with the bare minimum of 4 lings being made, Hero's in great shape right now.
Where are we going to go from here? Well, Mind has his eBay down already. He's going for an early +1 timing. He's going to have a little bit of a later stim here with less Marines than that 2 barracks, so he won't be able to force too many Sunkens out, but he might be able to force 1 if he actually moves out. It is a little bit dangerous, though, to move out early with the +1 build, because you can quickly get overwhelmed by Ling. But it's very common these days for even, a single barracks Terran player who's going for that early +1 to try and move out to at least create a little bit of pressure. The follow-up going to be 4 barracks here, and it's a very strong build with the early +1 4 barracks. You're going to have so many Marines out with a lot of power, a lot of strength, right as that +1 finishes, and range is done. The Marines are going to be really, really scary out here on the map.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with Hero's choice in this bottom left base as well. I think that's the only choice, really. Even though it's awkward with the 2 entrances, I feel like the catwalk is too obvious of a bad choice, and I feel like you the middle left, like you were suggesting, is just also a little bit awkward for other reasons. So I feel like the bottom left base is the only real true course of action for Hero in this current game state. So I'm really happy he's elected to do that. I think Mind will go all the way up to, he's going all the way up to, I think 4 racks. Yeah, he's going to 4 racks, and he's going to, that allows him to put on a lot of pressure out onto the map. With 3 racks, you can kind of like hold your own against the Zerg, but with 4, you can actually start to come out onto the map and really start to challenge this sort of muta air control dominance that the Zergs so often try to go for.
And he didn't try to push across the map here at all, so not forcing any sunken colonies, but not risking his early bioforce. So he's got a significant bioforce here as the next few racks are coming online. He's going to really start to pump up that number, but how are his mechanics here? I mean, if Hero has any openings here, he's going to start to really rip apart this bioforce, and taking down Mind's bio is going to give him a lot of control out on the map. There's a factory coming down immediately after these barracks are done. Mind going to begin that transition as he scans the bottom left here. He sees what he's up against.
Well, interestingly enough,
is he going to be able to?
Interestingly enough, that's a 6-minute 30 factory. So if Hero's not on time with, if Hero's not exceptionally crisp with his hive timings, there's actually a possibility of a tank push here.
You think that might be what we're seeing right now? Is a possibility of a tank push? I guess it's difficult to defend bottom left, right? Bottom left is going to be really wide open.
Yeah, I think a tank push is very likely here, and especially given the fact that he's got 4 racks straight into a factory like this, makes me really think he wants to at least set up for a tank push. It's just going to be a matter of whether Hero can identify that and like make an earlier hive timing. I doubt he will. I think we're going to see a tank push here, and I think it might work.
Yeah, I don't see a Queen's Nest at all. He's really focusing on getting out the Mutalist numbers necessary to deal with this huge bioforce that's moving along the left-hand side of the map. He's going to bring out his mutas here. He's got more than that full 11 group. Some of these are getting quite low, though. You'll have to switch out some high HP mutas for that low one. Bring them all together once again and try to fight this. But yeah, he is not making that transition right now, and he's just going to have only muta here to fight. Lings are coming out, though. If he eliminates all of the bio, you're not going to be able to do much with a tank push if you just don't have the muscle of the bio to back that up. And look at that. Everything gets taken out. Mind's going to have to run home with his tail between his legs. This tank push not looking as strong anymore, although it really does seem like that's going to be the case. He is going to push with tank soon.
Yeah, the hive timing is crisp enough that I think he'll be okay though, because he did swallow up a lot of the bio. There will still be a window for him to punish. Yeah, he's definitely still going to try and punish the Zerg, and there is a window to do so, but losing that much bio is going to really slow down his efforts, and Hero's taking a little bit out the window sails, and he's going to come back yet again with these Mutaling, threatening more stabs on this Bioforce, shaving off as many Marines as possible with +1 finished on these Mutas. They are doing a lot of damage right now, and there's only 2 medics, so they don't have enough energy to keep all these Marines alive. So as the Terran player here, sometimes you even have to just like pretend to stim and only stim like 1 Marine to make the Mutas run away, because you don't want to stim your entire pack of Marines, or they'll just keep draining the energy over and over again.
All right, well, coming in once again, dealing so much damage here to the Marine Medic Ball, and he's got a lot of Ling over here on the left-hand side. He's ready to dive upon this. If this is lost, if this bio group is lost for Mind, I don't have much confidence that he can push with tank at all before the Defilers are out and ready to defend that. So Mind here does need to keep this alive. He's got to keep stimming and defending these Marines, keep them alive for now. But the more stims that go down, the better off Hero is. He's forcing out a lot of stim here. He's going to come over and start to harass some of these turrets, but I mean, he's just checking what is here, and he sees the tanks in the natural. He knows exactly what's coming, so he can start to prepare.
And yeah, because he doesn't have the critical mass of bio that he needs, this isn't as scary as it could be. He will have a good irradiate to help deal with this Muta flock, but as long as Hero splits correctly, I just doesn't need to split. Honestly, he can just chill. He's only got like I think right now he's got this big lurker switch coming. Yeah, he's got this massive train of lurkers coming up from the bottom. So even if these mutas got dealt with, that's okay, because we can still slow this push down enough because the bio is small. So I think Hero wants to kind of come out and catch this as far out onto the map as possible and slow it all the way down. So here's the irradiate and a beautiful split as well. So I really don't feel like Hero is in any danger of dying at the moment.
Wow, how did he do that? He pulled the very bottom Mutalisk out of the stack, the perfect one, the one that it was irradiated. Really, really well done by him. Now backing away to this high ground. Mind is going to rotate over towards the natural here. 2 lurkers have been sent out to catch reinforcements. We've got some Scourge ready to catch this vessel if it comes forward, but this is going to be a kind of a desperate gambit here. Can Hero hold on right now? He's going to run forward with all of the lurkers burrowing right on the front. He's going to be able to pick off this vessel, it looks like. Do we have the scan? I don't see a scan coming down, and everything gets obliterated. Ouch. Brutal damage there. Looks like these are on hold position. They didn't actually stop the Marines. Oh, maybe they did deal some damage to these Marines. We do have 2 more tanks. They're going to be picked off as well. Lurkers running up on top of this. The mechanics of Hero really showing through this game.
Wow, he's playing on fire right now. I'm always so impressed to watch Hero play. He rarely underperforms. There are a few games that he's had that have been disappointing, but more often than not, he's performing out of his mind, and pun intended.
Yeah, he is showing us his power right now, and his conviction here to win ASL seems to be strong. He hasn't been able to make it that far as of yet, but he's consistently in top 4 for a long time. Maybe this is his season. Maybe he can put things together here and actually get a win in ASL. That would be massive. I don't think that Mind's going to be able to stop him, though, definitely not this game, but I don't know if he can take him down in the ASL either. His mechanics are looking so incredibly good, even on this kind of wacky map, this wild map here. Able to get a 4th base online. This is crazy. Hero doing a great job.
I mean, just look at the map right now. It's like a virus. He's got vision everywhere. Nothing's going to catch him unawares. There's no way even, say, like a random dropship could like win the game for Mind here. He wouldn't even be able to sneak it in. Like, nothing would come back for Mind here. Now he just get pounced upon by this big force of Lurker Ling, and with the high ground advantage, he can't really retreat down this ramp as well. It's going to be really tough for him. He's going to try and get a best of trade as possible, but that's not going to amount to much. So far, Hero is just absolutely all over him. Currently still ahead of supply of the Terran player, which is indicative of a huge Zerg advantage. And now with the Dark Swarm coming up just outside the natural expansion of Mind, the writing is on the wall for the Terran. He's going to desperately try and hold this off, but without an irradiate for this Defiler, it's only a matter of time before Hero just inches his way closer and closer to the rally point of Mind and contains him. Mind's going to desperately try and get some kind of map control by rotating around to the west, keeping some units out on the map to be able to have some kind of active presence and maybe prevent any form of reinforcements getting up here. But it doesn't matter unless he irradiates his Defiler. Finally does irradiate on that Defiler, but he's going to get another Dark Swarm down just outside these bunkers.
Yeah. Oh, great pick off there with the one lurker coming forward. He manages to get that. Some Marines trying to get that position here to block any further reinforcements, but Crackling is already done. Some Firebats pop out to clear this, so he will survive for now. Mind staying alive here, but we've already got the 4th gas online. Ultra is going to be popping out very, very soon. He's had that Ultra's Cavern for a little while, so you know that chitinous plating has got to be nearly complete here, and Firebats are not going to cut it against Ultras with chitinous plating. He's going to need something more. He's going to need a huge bio ball, maybe a couple of extra factories out here pumping tanks and stuff. Oh, a huge wave of Scourge. He might be able to pick off all of these science vessels. We'll see, but great defense so far from mine, but this is going to get crazy here. With all of these Scourge coming forward, a ton of Ling and Lurker on this high ground. Can he hold off? This is kind of an awkward position for Hero to hold, but with the high ground ramp, I guess he's going to be able to hold on for now.
Yeah, mine's being very diligent, though. He has been scanning ahead a lot, so he does identify those Scourge ahead of time, and these are the kind of things that will prevent him from just getting bowled over by Hero, but it's only a matter of time before Hero might get the better of him here. And with this huge round of Firebats, it gives him some ability to fight under swarms. And if there's only like 1 or 2 Lurker under swarm, he can still kill that with the bats. So it is still a threat here for Hero to have to deal with. He's going to maybe go on top of this Defiler. Does get the Dark Swarm down, but with all these swarms of Firebats, there is a chance here for Mine to make something work. There's a small contingency coming into the 3rd base location to keep Hero distracted as well. But we'll see how much damage he can do. So far getting on top of the drone line. There is a Nidus Canal here. If you can shut that down as well, that's going to be really annoying for Hero. He's going to be borrowing some Lurkers underneath this swarm and killing most of the Marines, but there are still 4 Firebats that can run into the main base in a moment here. It may be really annoying, so Hero's still not out of the woods, but has done a good job of defending this so far.
Yeah, that is crazy. You got to chop that up to, I think, just the wildness of the map here. Hero was really struggling to figure out where Mind was going with this attack. He was threatening all 3 different locations at the same time, the natural, the 4th, and the 3rd. And, Hero trying to juggle that the best that he could. And in the end, Mind attacks the natural. The Lurkers pop through and try to defend, but now Hero is really on the back foot here and not having Defiler in time. He's got an Ultra ready to fight here. 1 Ultra going to be enough to push things back for now, but for how long, really? We need a Defiler out here to defend. And look at this. Ultra's going to come forward here. They're going to get knocked down. There's way too good of a position here for Mine. The position that was working against him when it was fighting against Lurkers is now working for him against the Ultra Ling. We are going to get 1 Dark Swarm down here. Hero just barely going to hold on right now. Man, his tenacity is really something.
Yeah, by the skin of his teeth, he's pulling this together. Here comes the Lotto dropships, though. Mine wants to keep the issue pressed, and there is an Overlord to spot this, so he has the ability to prepare for this, but he's not paying attention just yet. I think he might have seen that on the mini. Here comes, he's distracted, plaguing these vessels right now. Oh, he does notice the dropship, but he's only got a handful of Lings to kind of delay that while some units make their way into the main to defend this. He might be in trouble here. He's got some Lings streaming into the main to help defend this, but Lings will not deal with this. There's bats with this drop, so these Lings are going to be somewhat ineffective unless he gets good surrounds.
Yeah, this is how a lot of Zerg players will die. This is how I often die on the ladder. Is the things start to get a little bit too crazy. There's armies bashing down a bunch of different doors, and then the dropship comes into the back and clears everything out. And here is going to be no different. Hero really struggling right now. He does have 1 Ultra that popped out in the main, and that's enough to hold off all of these Firebats. Firebats are really not good against Ultra. They barely do any damage, basically tickling them with their fire. But Ultra, so good against drop. We've got almost nothing, though, left for Hero right now. Look at how few drones we've got. We've got none in the main, none in the natural.
Mine's just not letting him make drones, and he's just constantly applying pressure to the Zerg over and over again. Every lava must be dumped into something, Scourge, Ultras, Lings, or he would just die, and now he can't even get his economy back in to high gear anymore, and he's like just struggling on the ropes, trying to find his balance, but his ears are just spinning right now, and Mind is just jabbing away constantly, and he's looking for that knockout punch.
There's no Defiler here. The knockout punch may be coming soon. 4 Ultras, probably not going to be enough to stop this force. That's so many Marines bashing away at this. But with the Dark Swarm, he does manage to hold on. He just needs to stay underneath this spell. for a little bit here and try to find his balance, pushing forward with the Ultra, picking off some of these straggling Marines here is a really good move, but there's more Marines heading across this catwalk. He's going to continue this pressure here, not picking off any vessels, importantly. We have none of the vessels getting picked off there. And the dropships are still active somewhere. There they are here in the natural. He can continue to drop in different locations. The bottom left would be a really good choice, though. Everything had to be pulled away from that bottom left to try to defend the main and the third base. The natural being under threat as well. There's those side vessels with almost no HP. One Hydra could kill so many vessels here, but he just doesn't have any anti-air. Here comes some Scourge to start to clean those up, but another drop making its way into the main base. Is this where Hero falls apart? Oh! Scourge here, picking that off. Getting rid of that dropship is massive.
That's huge. The fact that Mine didn't unload that in a line, he was just too distracted with this little fight skirmish at the third base location. That's huge for Hero there. That's a big win. Picking off that dropship, not only denying the further drops from that dropship, but also killing all the units inside. That cost efficiently is a big win for the Zerg right now. He needs as much cost efficiency as he can muster. And with Defiler tech, he's going to be able to get more and more. So, and here comes a flock of Scourge to try and pick off a few of these vessels. Looks like he's only going to get one of them for his efforts, though. Does connect with one of the other Scourge, making that another viable target later on. But with these Ultras coming around being super annoying, he might be able to deny mining at this third base location and just siphon off enough of the production of Mind, which will prevent him from being able to just keep macroing out of these like 8 or 10 barracks that he's got. And that will be a huge win for Hero, because now he can actually start to get a critical mass out on the map once more. Look at the supply starting to favor the Zerg yet again. Another dropship into the main base, going to be putting on some pressure, but that's not going to be good enough. Looks like Hero's going to deal with that cost efficiently as well, with some units waiting in the wings as well, just to deal with that, just gobble those units up. And now looking so strong in this game, ahead of supply. This game's hard to call because it's going back and forth so often, but I think Hero now is finally starting to get a handle of things once more.
Yeah, as the Terran player starts to dry out here, he's got no real mining aside from the third base. But look at this big attack here with the irradiate, the eraser trick here, going to deal a lot of damage. He only has 2 Scourge to deal with that, so he's going to lose a bunch of drones once again. But I think this base is going to end up going down. We don't have any reinforcements here. All the Marines are going to fall. And there's too many Ultras here. GG. Wow. Mind was not able to get more bases online there, and he failed to continue to grow, hoping for that knockout punch, but it never came. Getting the clamper here from KCM. Hero playing on fire today. Really beautiful 2 first games here this week.
Yeah, it was a close game, Bully.
Damn.
Oh, by the way, before we start the next game, someone said, greetings from Winnipeg. Thanks, guys, for always awesome casts. Thought you might want to know that.
Nice.
Oh,
I've been to Winnipeg before.
Nice. But Bully just said, very impressive how professional you guys are casting. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, me and saying, me and saying have been working on improving this over the years now. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we started?
Yeah, I think we've been almost a year, man.
Yeah,
almost a year.
It's about that. And we will continue to improve for you guys and bring you more entertainment and hopefully as detailed casts as we can possibly muster as we both try and develop our knowledge of StarCraft, because we've been playing this game for I've been playing for 25 years and I still don't feel like I've learned enough, you know what I mean? There's always something to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always some more to learn. And nothing makes you feel more like an idiot than playing ladder.
Well, ladder is trial by fire. The range of play is just endless, especially at our kind of MMR, right? Like, it's only when you actually get to the higher echelons of play, like in S rank and beyond that, the play actually becomes more reliable because people are doing less crazy stuff. But around sort of B rank level, especially with all the Protosses, it can be mind-numbing to try and keep track of what could potentially happen in those games.
True. All right. Hero versus Bisu. This is the true test. Hero's ZVP. And taking down Mini was impressive enough, but if he takes down Bisu here, good God.
That's something.
I'd be
super impressed.
Yeah, that would be really impressive. Do you need a little break, or are you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
We get to see the pool die again. I'm closing my eyes. I have no idea what's going on right now. What's going on?
Come on, where's the beginning?
Come on, Saiyan. Got my eyes closed there, man. What's going on?
Okay.
Where are we at? We good? All right.
Yeah, we're good. Well, nowhere near perfect that last game. Hero just barely scraping by against Mind. So much chaos in that game created by our Terran player, but Hero barely able to stay on top of all of it and come out ahead. Now here, going up against Bisu.
Wow, look at that win
This
record.
would be 73%? Holy. Is that from Bisu?
That's Bisu's PVZ. That's nuts, dude. That's nuts.
Wow. Yeah, that is wild. The king of PVZ. Maybe the definitely the hardest matchup for Protoss is versus Zerg, and Bisu just able to maneuver that better than anyone else out there. The best of the best.
So he is the OGP.
And he's going to be... Yeah, he is. And he's going to be sending his probe in the right direction here. Going to be seeing Heroes build and maybe even denying him from getting this 12 hatch here, which it appears that he's going for right now.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Hero is doing the wise thing of hiding the second Overlord, but that doesn't matter because Mini's just going to chill here anyway, and he might get the block. Sorry, yeah. Bisu is going to chill here anyway. And what's beautiful about this mind game is that Hero has no idea. Like, I think Bisu's going to really blindside him here. This is like a really big meta game that we're seeing.
Ooh, this is dirty. This is really dirty. Yeah, he came in, he saw the creep, and just backed away, assuming that there was going to be a hatchery here. He was right in that assumption. He's building a pylon back behind this natural. He sees the probe. He has no idea that there's a second probe here already.
Oh
this
God,
is
so
such
impressed.
a mind game from Bisu.
So impressed, saying right now. Bisu is showing us like another layer to PVZ where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if you don't confirm that they're going 9 pool or not. You can just like, see the creep, rotate round, hide the probe. Don't have to deny the hatchery going down. Instead, just go for a cannon rush, and you'll feel fine because you can send the second probe to make sure there's no lings on the way, and you can build cannons back at home if you need to. This is crazy what we're seeing right now. Bisu's like kind of reinventing PVZ, even though he was the one that originally designed it.
This is very cool. This is all kind of made possible by the fact that he had the first scout. He had the initial scout, and he saw the creep without revealing the probe. A very cute tech play here, keeping all the drones alive, but the cannon's going to be already hitting this. Oh, and he can hit this? Can he hit the sunken? Yeah, he can hit the sunken here. We're going to have to cancel and reestablish that. There's no way. Oh, God, he gets a kill on a drone here as well. This is really frustrating stuff for Hero right now. Going to be losing this sunken colony. Look at how quickly the health gets dropped off of that. All he needs to do is bring it down to 100, and it will die the moment that it pops out. Some Ling's going to come forward here, starting to deal damage to this cannon in the front. He's going to kill the cannon in the back, too, it looks like. With the sunken finishing up, is this the perfect hold from Hero?
This is the perfect hold from Hero, even though Bisu's doing some of the most beautiful manual target firing I've seen of a cannon, by the way. Like, amazing how precise he was in switching focus fire back and forth between that sunken and the Lings, keeping the sunken down to 100 HP, so it would be one shot as soon as it popped. Bisu is showing such exemplary level of control, and Hero is still somehow managing to navigate and hold this with pretty high levels of efficiency. I'm impressed by both sides right now, saying it's hard not to like this game.
Yeah, this is some really high level stuff here, guys. Really glad to have you all here to join us for these games. This is fantastic. And by the way, happy Valentine's Day out there to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We're casting this on Valentine's Day. We love you. We appreciate you. I hope you're with some of your loved ones today, and if you're not, thank you for being with us anyway. You are appreciated and loved. And this is going to heat up here quickly. We need probes in this wall right now. Bisu going to have to hold on against this. Ling's coming in right now. He actually opens the wall for a second, but falling back here. Probes are going to get targeted. How many probes can he get? 3 probes already. Trying to run by here. Going to get another probe. It looks like great blocking from Bisu as the Lings try to make their way up the ramp. All of them will be killed.
Wow.
Great hold here by Bisu, but evening out that worker lead a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good. It's a good hold for Bisu, but that's really good for Hero. He just reset the worker count so much, and he's actually now going to be taking a small lead in economy right now because he killed enough probes that he kind of reset things. But one thing we could say is that with this Creep Conley and the natural expansion of Hero, this sunken he made earlier, that will slow mining down just a little bit and prevent some optimal mining. So you could argue that still Bisu's quite handsomely in the lead, but on paper right now, Hero's looking pretty good.
I wonder if he's going to kill this sunken colony here, if he decides that it's just not worth it. Maybe he wants to keep it to help him with this first zealot or these first few zealots that are going to start to annoy him here. He does have to make a few more lings. You know, if he hadn't sent those lings in to trade out for some probes, he wouldn't have had to build extra lings here to, you know, deal with these first zealots. He would have already had lings out, but you know, he's going to have to build these lings. He's going to have to trade poorly here with the zealots as well because he wasn't able to get them out in time to, you know, prevent the positioning here from Bisu. But, you know, Bisu's going to be sending more and more zealots on the map here. He's going to be looking for more better positions here. He's already traded out very efficiently. Hero building the right number of lings, though, I think. And dealing with this pretty darn efficiently. He is supply blocked right now, so can't really produce anything at the moment. Might be forced to take kind of a bad trade here since he can't really produce. There we go. He does pop an Overlord, and look at this. Great micro here from Bisu, taking out so many links, and he just doesn't have any over here to finish these off. An extra hatch in the main and a Hydralisk Den is done. We will not be seeing, you know, a Mutalisk follow-up. Oh, he gets one drone. He's going to get a second one? Not quite getting that second one, but really, really good targeting there by Bisu.
I think Hero's going to be forced to do a 4-hatch Hydra now. I think he's got enough drones have been sniped. I guess he doesn't have to. He could just pump drones right now, but he might want to consider the possibility of just doing a 4-hatch Hydra bust because of just how much damage he's taken and how destabilized he is. He doesn't have to do that, but it would be a good way of dealing with the current game state, give him enough Hydras to deal with the Corsair Zealot threat, and also be able to apply pressure to Bisu and force a lot of cannons at the very least, and maybe hit him pre-storm. It'd be a viable way of dealing with this current game state, and he is going to be killing his own Sunken like we were talking about earlier, but now he's gunning down these Overlords. I really feel like Hero should have gone 4-hatch Hydra, because he would have had enough Hydras to deal with these Corsairs, but he's tried to pump out a few more drones to make up for his situation and gone into a 5th hatch. I think this is a mistake from Hero, going for a 5th hatch and trying to play a normal game. I think he should have gone 4-hatch Hydra to deal with these Corsairs.
Well, he's going to lose 3 Overlords here. That's really going to supply block Hero, and yeah, he is going to get pretty punished right now, losing another Overlord there. Once again, supply blocked. If you're not predicting which Overlords are going to go down or how many Overlords are going to go down and kind of preemptively making that the supply block can last for a really long time. Looks like Hero did preempt that, and he has opened up that supply now. He can start to get more Hydra out on the field, but that sort of situation can snowball really, really quickly and get out of control. But it looks like Hero... Oh, he's actually popped full drone, and there's a lot of Zealots coming across the map right now. This could be a real issue. Maybe, you know, Bisu can snowball this out of control. This is quite a few Zealots coming up with that +1. We need Hydra right now. We don't have SimCity in the natural. We've only got SimCity at the 3rd, and we don't have any Sunkens here. This is going to get nasty, man. I think we might see Hero just get completely knocked out here. This is going to get too crazy. He's blocking on the ramp at least, but the Lings are not going to do anything. Lings just getting eaten up by these Zealots, and he's going to start to lose more Overlords.
Yeah, he's just going to get on top of these Overlords, kill all the Overlords, and the Zealots are going to deal with everything else. And the drone drill is good enough, but Hero's just going to tap out. GG is cool. I really feel like this is the wrong response from Hero. 4-hatch Hydra would have been a much better choice. Not only can he apply pressure to Bisu and force cannons, but also just survive against the Zealot Sair. I don't know why he didn't go for that.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a misread there from Hero. He thought he had time to make another round of drones there, but just didn't account for the timing here from Bisu. That move out timing with that good number of Zealots and +1 and speed finishing up rips him apart. GG is called. Finally, Hero gets taken out. Not a surprise that Bisu is the one to do it here. I think that's why he's that's what he's made for, really, is taking out these strong Zerg players. But kind of a surprise that Hero went down like that in this game. We're going to jump into our next one here, guys. Game number 4 is coming right up. All right.
All right. I don't need a whiz or anything, so I'm good to go if you are.
All right. 1 down for each player. That's awesome.
Crazy games. I'm really impressed by the quality of games so far. True, Jimmy. True.
Well, 1 player being taken out from each race thus far. Here we're going to have Bisu versus Sharp now. And Sharp, I really rate against Bisu, actually. Bisu's PvT not quite as strong as some of these other players. Someone like Best, someone like Snow. And Sharp is reaching that pinnacle of TVP. He is so strong in this matchup right now.
I mean, Bisu back in the day had some of the best PvT micro in terms of like being able to like mine sweep with Dragoons and these kind of things. But in this day and age, the kind of toolset that he had isn't as uncommon. So he doesn't really have a leg up over the other Protosses in PvT as he once did. And these modern Terrans are so good at dealing with the kind of Protoss shenanigans that Bisu used to abuse so much in times past. So doesn't have the kind of mantle to stand on in this matchup as he once did. And unfortunately for him, that is the matchup that's holding him back right now. If it wasn't for his PvT, he'd probably be one of the best players out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Just not quite at that same level as he's reached with PvZ. He's going to Nexus first here. And Sharp going for more of a conservative build. Will he be able to bust the Nexus? How greedy is Bisu going to get here? Will we see a double gateway follow-up? Dealing a lot of damage to this early SCV, really slowing down the scouting here from Sharp. Sharp really does need to know about this Nexus first as soon as possible, and looks like he's going to send out a second SCV maybe to continue the scouting, while the first SCV going to head back home. When he sees this Nexus, what is going to be his response here? I'm really curious to see. 5 HP left on this, just 1 more hit from this probe, and Bisu will get that first kill, first blood. No!
Wow.
Not able to get it. Beautiful control here by Sharp. As he sends his next SCV here into the natural, he will see that Nexus first. What is going to be his response? I'm so curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I really liked how both players were doing manual move commands on the workers there. It allows you to move through the hex grid so much more precisely, and it gives you a higher turn rate on the units as well, so that they can like more smoothly adjust their course. They move at like perfect horizontal and diagonal angles to navigate and kind of cut the distance between the 2 units. And both players there doing an absolutely superb job of trying to abuse the hex grid. But looks like Sharp got the better of him, and Sharp is known for his early game and mid to late game unit control, and he's going to demonstrate that with his vultures this game more than likely. And Bisu needs to be careful. I feel like someone like Sharp can actually really stretch his ability in this matchup, and Sharp is the best person to send out in dealing with him, I think.
Yeah, Bisu here not leaving a Zealot on the ramp. Is really going to pay for that. First Zealot going to walk in here towards the natural, but 3 Marines already prepared. He's not actually being microing them right now. He's more focused on the Vulture. Going to try and run behind the mineral patches right now, but he needs to keep these Marines active, keep them fighting with the Zealot, lest he lose this SCV building the command center. It looks like he may end up losing that. 2 kills on the Vulture. Pretty darn good getting those 2 kills. A couple of probes picking off, but slowing down this CC is actually maybe more impactful here.
Yeah, and he's done a great job of slowing down this CC. I mean, the SCV bounces could have been a little bit luckier for Sharp to prevent that from occurring, but he's getting into the natural expansion with the Vulture yet again. There's nothing blocking their ramp, so he's doing so much damage to Bisu's economy while also denying mining, and trading like 2 or 3 probes for the Vulture. It is good if you haven't got mines on the way, and I think his mines are only just now about to start to finish up, so it's great that he's getting so much value out of these Vultures. And now on the exit is going to start laying down mines outside the natural of Bisu. Bisu, while he's also going to be dealing with this small threat at the front. He kills that Zealot and just lays down mines in the face of that Dragoon. And another Dragoon dies to the mine that he laid down in a trap. So everything's going so well for Sharp.
Yeah, getting so many kills on the probes here. Bisu being a little bit too aggressive, not keeping a single Dragoon back at home. Oh my god, is he going to walk into this mine? It really looked like he was about to. That Vulture did end up going down, I guess, to the mine that it laid, and the mine that actually killed the Dragoon. So, you know, getting some good value out of that first Vulture. Really, really good value there, and not taking too much damage on the counterattack. He's even blocking in this Dragoon over here on the right-hand side. I don't think that Bisu will be able to get this home. A couple of Vultures going to come up here and finish that off. So far, just perfect play here from Sharp. Really handling this early game outstandingly.
Yeah, not losing this Vulture here as well is just like the icing on the cake. Like, he's been so cost efficient with what few units he's got, and when you make Vultures as Terran, it's always indicative of being aggressive. You make tanks defensively and Vultures aggressively, and Sharp is so good with his Vulture control that he's able to just stay making Vultures for a long time before even producing his first couple of tanks like we see now. And that just gives you so much higher potential value as Terran, and also gives you control over the game state. So it frustrates someone like Bisu, who maybe could have considered doing some kind of shenanigans in the early game to kind of get a foothold and kind of control the game state. Instead, Sharp's just going to snatch that away from him and just put himself into a dominating position here. Even though the supplies aren't favoring Sharp right now, it doesn't matter. He's got complete control over the game state.
I think we might see a push here from Sharp. Honestly, we've lost too many Dragoons, and we just took another mine hit on these two Dragoons here at the front. They've been pretty badly damaged, and we only have 2 gateways right now. With the second factory finishing up and a good number of tanks here, the Dragoon count is low. I don't know. I think Sharp might consider a push right now. He is adding on, you know, he has the armory here that's spinning, that's kind of working against my theory right now. Citadel of a Dune coming down, but no more gateways here just yet, and Bisu's not going to be able to outproduce Sharp right here. Sharp actually going to get an engineering bay for himself. It's looking kind of more of a defensive play, getting out these Goliaths and that, but I think there was an option here. There was a moment where maybe Sharp could have come across the map with 3 tank and done something, but it looks like instead he's more focused on defense. He's just going to focus on making sure he doesn't take damage here as Bisu comes in towards the natural. He should have siege mode here on the high ground to defend.
Yeah, I was curious for a second there if Bisu was considering a rush to Arbiters. He was staying on 2 gate obs for so long. He's finally thrown down a 3rd gateway. There's yeah, it's going to be Arbiters. I knew it. Okay, so he's going to go for Arbiters. I think that's a great play in this situation. I'm happy to see it. He is going to deny this Vulture getting the snipe on that probe and prevent any kind of scout off. We see some scans going down though. Sees the Forge, sees the Observatory, sees the 3 gateways and everything else, but doesn't see this Templar tech, doesn't see this Stargate on the way, so he has no idea that it's going to be Arbiters just yet. He will still make the kind of like meta for Goliaths that you see so many Terrans. Oh, he sees it now. Follow-up scan is going to see that as well. So now Bisu's in a little bit of trouble because Sharp has such a good read on the game state. He knows all the timings that Bisu can throw at him now, so he's going to be able to adjust his play and min-max his Terran build order to deal with this quite cost efficiently, I think.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of meat on the army here for Bisu's army, for Bisu's force. He just doesn't have a lot of zealot. He doesn't have a lot of gateways. Those are going to start to be added on right now, but Sharp's got a pretty decent army here, and the push distance towards that 3rd base is really not that far. Are we going to see Sharp just take a 3rd base here, though? He can push up, take this 3rd, and then behind the 3rd base, he can start to push farther north and hit the 3rd of Bisu. I think that might be the plan here. He's starting to set up turrets, being very careful here, not overextending as he adds on more factories and gets himself ready for this 3rd base.
One thing I do like about the current meta in PvT is this habit for Terrans to go up to 4 Goliaths early. It's such a strong number. It allows you to kind of 1-shot observers and also 2-shot shuttles, which gives you such good defense against the shenanigans Protoss can throw at you in the early game, and also allows you to constantly scan for observers, shut those down, deny some vision, and kind of control what the Protoss can and can't see, and also shut down any kind of like bust plays that could prevent you taking your 3rd base. And Yeah, it looks like Sharp's going to be snaking around a little bit with a couple of vultures, see what's what, see the timings of things. He sees that Bisu's going for this fourth base. He doesn't actually confirm that the Nexus is there, so it could be like a fake where he just took the pylon wall and didn't actually build the Nexus, but it's usually unlikely that Protosses do that, but it is somewhat common for Protosses to kind of fake an expansion and go for a bust, but I don't think he's not getting the vibe from this game. He knows that's a genuine fourth base because of the other tech timings, so he's pretty confident right now about the game state, and he's kind of delayed his third just a little bit. Compared to Bisu, so it looks like this choice to go up all the way up to like 5 or 6 factories early on will give him such a strong army in being able to secure this third, and will also give him a very big opportunity to just push and kill Bisu as soon as he wants to.
Yeah, that's a lot of factories coming online here. Gonna go up to 7 right now, and we only have 6 gateways here. Of course, the addition of the Arbiter tech is supposed to make that that deficit up a little bit, but you should at least have the same number of gateways as the Terran has factories, really. So we'll see if Bisu, I guess Bisu going to try and take more bases here. I don't know if he's got like a little bit of a misread or something, but he really wants to get up here and take top left. Whereas I think that Sharp is going to come out with a really strong 3-base timing here. Push directly northward and take out that third base. Maybe go straight up towards the natural as well. This is going to be hard for Bisu to hold on if he's trying to take more bases right now.
Yeah, the game plan for Sharp right now is a big 1-2 punch where he wants to not only take out this natural third of Bisu, but then like make his way downtown to the rally point and contain that as well. Then if he wants to, he can either win the game with a push or just keep Bisu contained and knock out this 12 o'clock base as well and keep Bisu contained on 2 bases. Right now, the Bisu is remaining very fluid with his army and staying out on the map, keeping the pressure on, has an Arbiter of status available at 12 minutes and has a big standing army to try and fight Sharp. I think Bisu has done well to kind of naturally align himself to deal with what Sharp is doing, but Sharp still has enough tools in his arsenal to just ward off this attack. He has 150 supply. Bisu's going to go for it. He thinks he's got enough to do so. He's going to try and maybe stasis the big clump of vultures actually instead of the tanks, which is an interesting choice. Even though he's not got that many vultures, not many zealots for the he cleaned up by the vultures, he still went for that, and it's an interesting choice by him, but it's not that many tanks, so if he can get on top of these and just kill off all of the tanks, it's going to be great for him to reset the tank count, and because he didn't stasis the tanks, there's more tanks to kill, so he can get a bigger tempo swing here and then back out with what Dragoons he's got remaining.
Yeah, I think that was a great choice here by Bisu, actually. I think that's exactly, the mindset that he's in is just, I need to kill as many tanks as I can. Let's remove the part of the army that we don't care about killing, which is those vultures, and just go after the tanks. And it works out really, really well for him. I was a bit worried there that Bisu was going to lose a huge chunk of his army with this first attack, and then Sharp was going to counterattack him really strongly, but that's not really what happened. The tank count has been severely reduced, and Sharp sitting here with 126 supply. There's no way he can push right now. This base in the top left is actually looking really, really good now. Bisu already having that probe up there, having that cleared, getting some cannons on the high ground. He's looking to be in a great position now.
Yeah, and he has 10 gateways to about 7 factories, which is around about the production you need to be at to kind of be on par with the Terran. It's roughly like 1.5 gateways to a factory in terms of like value of production. So it's always good to stay slightly ahead of the Terran in terms of how many gateways you got. You at least need 1-to-1 ratio to kind of not die. But yeah, if you can get a little bit more gateways than factories, it's usually a good position to be in. Ideally, you want to have a 2-to-1 ratio, like 20 gateways versus 10 factories for the super late game to really start to overwhelm the Terran, which is why you see Protosses try and set up these corner bases so they not only have the access to 2 rally points, but can also just get up to an insane amount of gateways.
We're already maxed out here as Bisu. I haven't seen any more Arbiters here, but will we be going for a recall soon? I don't think that recall has been... I feel like recall has really fallen off recently in terms of its power, in terms of its usefulness against Terran players, because they are so good at dealing with main base recalls. Oh, he's going to catch his probe transfer going up towards the top left. This is classic Sharp. He's going to get so many probe kills here. Really nice pickoffs there from him, but another big attack coming in. Oh, great EMP there, getting rid of that. I want to mention last time we had a fight, the shuttle got picked off really quick, but this time the shuttle actually unloading a lot on top of these tanks. Tanks going down en masse, and Beast is starting to push in towards the natural. There's quite a bit of forces here to the north over at the third base, but down here to the south, there's almost nothing, just 2 tanks on high ground, and Bisu going to keep pushing forward. Okay, he doesn't have observers to push through those mines, so he is going to have to back off. But once again, resetting a lot of this tank count, trading out pretty inefficiently, but I think it's okay with the number of bases that he has online, the number of production facilities that he's got. He's going to be able to remax way faster, and lowering that tank count is just great for Bisu here.
Sharp's done a good job of not bleeding off too many of his vultures this game from raiding, so it does leave up a small window for a counter-attack here if Bisu makes a bit of a blunder. So he has to be a little bit careful, because there is a chance where Bisu gets a little bit too overzealous and comes in here, does a bad trade, and suddenly Sharp's got a push timing and just like pulls the trigger on a big counter-offensive. So he needs to be careful. As we can keep the tank count low, that will kind of make Sharp be very hesitant to push. Sharp can't see the supply, so even though right now we can see that Sharp's in a pretty good supply state, Sharp has no confirmation of that. Right now, Bisu could be max and able to remax again, so Sharp wants to be a little bit careful, just make a 4th CC, float that to 6, and then start to come out onto the map in a bit more of a tentative way and not really take any gambles here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a real push is going to be possible. Taking the 4th base is going to be difficult as it stands. I'm not too clear on where you can actually build turrets out here on the map, but I think the middle of the map is pretty safe for building turrets. You can, build a bunch of turrets here, cut off a bit of space in the middle of the map. It will be hard with the much wider choke area. You can get a much better spread on your Zealot and Dragoon in order to come in and break that, but we're going to see Sharp move out here pretty soon. He really needs to take a 4th base, so he's going to start to shove forward here now. Bisu is ready for this attack coming out here, but does he have Storm in this shuttle now, or is it just more Zealots? He did add on a second Arbiter, or a second Stargate to build more Arbiter. Here he comes for a recall on top of this 3rd base. What? No, he's going for the main. I don't like this. I think the 3rd base would have been a much better call. Oh my god, that's so many units.
That's a crazy recall. So many Zealots and Goons, and Sharp's in desperation mode, making sure he can get as many units into the main base as possible. If there was another Arbiter with that, he could have stasis the ramp and made this a nightmare scenario. He wasn't able to do so. Sharp so far, though, doing a good job of cleaning this up. Hasn't really lost a lot in the main base, trying to get as much of a cost-efficient trade as possible to get these units out of his base and then get back onto the map. BT trying to be a little bit annoying, maybe snipe up a few of these supply depots, but he's not going to be able to get much for his efforts. So all this has done is kind of slow down Sharp a little bit. This is working out in his favor. He has a big standing army right now after that trade, so unless Bisu can max quickly, Sharp's got an opportunity now to actually go on the offensive, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to identify that trigger or not, because Bisu's going to keep hitting him over and over again with more and more recalls here.
Yeah, this is a better recall here into this 3rd base. Still, there's quite a few units around here. The army coming down to the bottom 6 o'clock, though, is really, really good. That's a great move from Bisu to kind of slow things down. To stop that 4th base from quickly coming online. He's doing a lot of distractions right now, but look at the supply. Bisu falling quite a bit farther behind, and another recall going to come in here? Is this really what we're doing? Just constant recalls down into this 3rd base? Is this actually going to work for him? There's a lot of units over here. He's going to be able to block this even. Having the EMP there is big. He might send that Science Vessel forward. There's like quite a few Arbiters over in that area just kind of chilling, waiting for energy. If he manages to spot that, find that, and EMP that, it could be huge. Look at this right there. There's an Arbiter just waiting for that energy, and if he could get an EMP on that would be massive. Now going to clear out 6 o'clock and take this base. Sharp's looking to be in a pretty good spot now. These recalls have kind of done more harm than good.
Yeah, he's put that Science Vessel on patrol just above his expansion to kind of ward away that area, to kind of threaten Bisu with an EMP should he come back to do another recall. Looks like Bisu instead going to be fluid with his army in the middle map, try and slow down this push that Sharp's going to go for now. He's going to both attack and defend at the same time now. He's going to secure this 4th base location while just shoving Bisu back onto the map as far as he can. If he can get all the way up to the rally point, that's great, but he doesn't want to go for that yet. He wants to stay on his side of the map to keep his recall defense alive. Beautiful EMP on this Arbiter, though. Going to be shutting down further efforts from Bisu and denying this 4th base, which he had done so beautifully up until this point. So has slowed down the growth of Sharp, which you need to do as Protoss. You either kill the economy of the Terran player or you slow down his growth, and BSU's done a good job of doing a little bit of both of those things, so has kept the threat of Sharp under control until this point, but now Sharp's starting to get a foothold in the game, and is starting to push BSU all the way back to his side of the map, and now things are going to start to turn.
This is where the mechanics of the Terran are really put to the test, pushing out against a bunch of Templar and a huge gateway army here. He's not taking the big storms that a lesser player would. He's really pushing this out beautifully and displaying his skill here in this game. Wow, that's so many Arbiters! Oh my god, there's so many stasis available here. If he gets some really good stasis on the army, even this small little gateway force here could actually rip through a lot of tanks. Supply here for the Terran, but he's actually thrown down a bunch of mines here on the right-hand side, left a few tanks behind, and now pushing up towards the top left. I love this move. Beautifully done by Sharp.
This is amazing.
This is all going to slow him down a little bit. These 4 tanks are kind of sacrificial here, but he's going to be able to kill off a base and maybe even the top base in the top left as well.
Yeah, Sharp's understanding how fluid he needs to be in this situation, but he needs to be careful not to cough his pants down. Bisu's in hot pursuit right now, trying to get between this wedge of Terran force that's moving out across the map, and now Sharp scrambling to pull all his army back onto his side of the map to prevent anything from being sniped, and has done a great job of that, but is starting to lose a little bit of his supply that he had before. Now Bisu back in a normal position of being ahead by about 30 or so. Doesn't have that window of advantage that he had just a moment ago, does Sharp, but still in a great position now. Has Bisu warded on his side of the map. The only downside to this is that the recall defense now becomes so much harder, and Bisu's making his way to this left side of the map to come for another recall at this 6 o'clock position, but we have this science vessel just waiting, so as long as Bisu can dodge this EMP, he could maybe win the game with this maneuver.
I think this is a bait. I don't think that has any energy. The second Arbiter is going to come in here. This is the one with actual energy. That was a fake right there, and this is gonna work, I think.
Oh, he missed!
He missed. No, he missed with the EMP. Oh my god, that's so painful. Sharp not able to get the EMP there, and he may lose the command center. Indeed, he will lose this command center, and Bisu taking a big advantage now in this game. A beautiful recall there. That is really what recalls are meant to do, is to shut down additional bases of the Terran player. None of these big recalls into the main really did what they were intended, but this one absolutely successful here, and shutting off the pipe, the resource for Sharp here. He's getting close to a max, but I think he can only remax one more time. He has to get this next base online. He's going to try and take a base over here in the bottom left instead. He's going to try and cut this map in half now. Just forget about the 6 o'clock and take a big position down here in the bottom left. Will he be able to hold on against all of these Arbiters, all these recalls, all these stasis, and this huge gateway army that's moving towards the bottom left? That remains to be seen.
He's taken a big hit to his production capabilities right now, and Bisu's going to try and take full advantage of that, and all these tanks are clumped up as well. Needs to be careful not to just get a big clump of unit stasis. Does go after the Goliaths actually, so now unable to snipe these Arbiters. There is a few High Templars in this infantry force as well to throw down some storms and add some splash damage to the mix, increasing the potency of this force. Another Arbiter making my way down the bottom left, going to be getting EMP'd this time though, says Sharp. Not going to be allowing you to just get away with these recalls unchecked the entire time. BC remaining active on the map, trying to snake around and deal with any threats that Sharp's trying to annoy him with right now, trying to slow down these expansions on the left-hand side and try and frustrate the growth of the Protoss as much as possible, because right now BC's out of control, but that threat can get under control if he's able to simultaneously slow down BC while also securing this bottom left quadrant. And a map split like this does favor the Terran the longer the game goes on, so now it's kind of putting the question back into BC's side of the fence and asking him to try and make some moves to win this game instead of being the one to have to go out onto the map himself and push. He doesn't really have to attack anymore. He just needs to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, making sure that he doesn't die. Very important that Sharp just hold on to this bottom left. He's going to clear 6 o'clock. The space not totally necessary right now. We do need to secure the middle of the map so that we don't get cut off from the left, from the right here. We have to have some sort of circulation between the two bases here. We have to be fluid with our army, really matching where the Protoss is going with this maxed out force. But, I mean, we have plenty of resources in the bottom left. We really don't need the 6 o'clock right now. Just killing off those units, I guess, going to be worth it here. He's even built a Wraith, actually, to deal with these random Arbiters sitting around the map, just kind of gathering that energy. The one that was down there at the bottom center would be that Wraith's target, but now Sharp has that maxed out supply. Oh, we're even going for hallucination. Wow. I love it. We haven't seen a hallucinated Arbiter for so long, Shun, but here it is. This is an amazing game.
Oh, I'm so speechless right now. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm like a kid in candy store. And he's even missing the EMPs, so he's not even going to be killing the hallucinations. And, this is going to be so annoying for Sharp to deal with. He's not even going to realize it until it's too late. And now the recalls are going to be initiating in the bottom right, getting on top of the Terran production. His army is way out of position in the center of the map, unable to come here and deal with this. And with some high Templars in the mix, he can also storm the units from the high ground, making this retaking of the high ground so painful for Sharps. Saying this is insane, this game.
Yeah, this is getting wild. We did try to stasis on the ramp. It was not totally effective, but it's going to slow things down a little bit as they try to get into the main base here. He's going to be killing some of these factories, potentially. He did kill off one of the machine shops. He's getting a bunch of supply depots, but really the follow-up play is what's going to be painful here for Sharp. While all this is going on, can Bisu get an Arbiter down to the bottom left? That's what he really needs to do. He needs to get a recall in there to shut down that base down there, to stop Sharp from sustaining in that bottom left. And oh my god, look at all these hallucinations. Oh my god,
in this game, Saying I'm absolutely blown away.
This is insane.
We're being spoiled right now in KCM. I can't believe how look at that. It's so beautiful to see EMPs kill units. You never see this. You almost never see hallucinated, much less in a pro game. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even see this on the ladder usually, let alone in a pro game. I'm so impressed right now by Bisu finding an opportunity to actually make use of this spell for a change.
Realizing that was a hallucination, a hallucination. Oh, he sees the one Arbiter moving off to the side, but we are going to have this Arbiter get in here with the recall. Oh, man, this is so painful for Sharp right now. He's going to lose control of the bottom left. He has to lift. He has to run. SCVs are going to get stormed to death. A bunch of tanks are here to defend, but it's going to be such a pain getting up this ramp. Bisu really getting that follow-up we were talking about here, getting so much damage and really slowing down the Terran player once again. This is Bisu's game to lose right now. Sharp desperately trying to hold on here, just all over the map, and it's Bisu going to be adding on more and more hallucinations, sending them all over the map. I love what he's doing with sending like just 2 hallucinations to one side and then having just one Arbiter with a bunch of hallucinations going the other direction. It's so smart, actually.
It's so hard to deal with for Terran here. You might get an EMP on this clump. Bisu needs to be look careful. There's one way you can detect if these are hallucinations. You can check their HP as they're taking damage. They will take twice as much damage as usual, but Sharp doing a great job of hunting down the real Arbiter in that occasion. But yeah, if you keep track of the vessel, the Arbiter HP as they're being shot by a turret or something, and you see it takes double damage, that's one way you can figure out if it's a hallucination or not.
Wow, again, more Arbiters heading down here towards the bottom right. He's going to throw down one EMP. He has another one here. Oh, wow. Missing that one. But we've got an Arbiter here moving towards the 6 o'clock. Too many Goliaths here, going to pick that off. Too many turrets here as well. Looks like that got EMP'd as well. Really, really good control here from Sharp, shutting all of this down. But I mean, we've got so many more in the chamber here for Bisu. It's just going to keep firing these off, randomly at different sides of the map and trying to see what sticks. And if any of these recalls really go off and deal a bunch of damage, he's going to be in a great position. He's going to be able to shut down more bases and really slow down Sharp even more. Another great EMP going off here, dealing some, getting rid of some of this energy. Oh my god, look at how many science vessels are stuck in this stasis right now. Can he just push through to the win?
This is ridiculous what we're seeing right now. He heard us talking about his PvT abilities and he was like, hold my beer. I'm going to show you something. And do you know what? I'm all for it. I love to be proved wrong. And look at it. This is a beautiful game we're seeing right now. This is absolutely exceptional levels of Starcraft and so hard to actually execute. Like, there's so many times during this game where all this hallucination shenanigans could have gone direly wrong for Bisu and it could have blown up in his face. And he's managed to maintain complete control over the ebb and flow of the game. And Sharp was holding his own this entire time and doing a great job of defending, and he's just getting pulled apart left, right, and center. It's an amazing game, Saiyan.
This is a great game here, and Bisu looks like he's going to lose that shuttle. He's going to lose these Templar. He may end up losing all of the Arbiters down here as well. We did have some Wraiths out earlier. I don't know what happened to those. There's the Wraith coming in, but a big recall going to come down here to the bottom left. This is beautiful. This is the killing move right here. The killing joke. Bottom left-hand corner, gonna get removed from the map. Sharp, no mining left right now. He's gonna retake, I think, 6 o'clock, but really shutting down all of these vessels was such a good play. Having all of them stasis at the same time means he can just constantly recall here without fear of being EMP'd. There's nothing that Sharp could do about that. He is going to retake this base down here, and he's still fighting back, but dropping down to 100 supply. Things are getting dire right now for Sharp.
Wow, Bisu's an absolute maestro. He's just, at the moment, sprinkling on garnish onto the dish that he's prepared for Sharp, and Sharp's blade is not going to be even required to eat this dish. Bisu's going to be like serving him a dish that's specially prepared just for him, and what a dish it is as well, saying I'm absolutely blown away by Bisu's play in this game. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, adding some more spice here. Gonna be sending out more and more Arbiters. Will we ever see a transition into Carrier, do you think? We get the Finger of God, the Carrier-Arbiter combo that kills everything that it touches. I don't think so. It seems like Bisu just wants to continue with this play. If Sharp manages to stabilize, which I don't think he will, with 80 supply, there's almost no chance of him doing that. He has to land every single EMP perfectly, not allow any more recalls from this point. He's like one recall away from death. As this army makes its way down here, I don't know if he'll even be able to hold on against it, but here comes that Arbiter play. Yeah, he's just going to throw down stasis from here on. Getting rid of a few tanks here, and GG is called. That is it. Bisu takes that game. Outstanding game, though, it was versus Sharp here. He gets the clapper from KCM. Well, very well deserved.
God damn. It's like the guys are like watching the games being played and they're like, they want to one up themselves. They want to one up each other. You know, that game was great. I'm going to do a better game than that. And then they see that game, like, right, I can do a better game than that. I'm going to do a better game than that. You know what I mean? It's like they were trying to, it's almost like two rap artists in the booth and they're both like writing verses and they're both trying to like trump the other one, like rewriting their verses and coming up with better ones. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. That was wild. I actually can't remember the last time we saw like mass hallucination in the game. Like, I'm trying to think back into my memory banks.
You're looking at like 2008, maybe 2009, around then, something like that. A long.
I feel
time
like
ago. Maybe a little bit later.
like we saw some happen in remastered as well.
Oh, maybe.
But like
what, pro games.
But yeah, like in some older KCM games, but like
maybe
for like the past like 3 to 4 years, it's just been like sprinkling, sometimes going for Arbiter, but almost always going for Speed Shuttle. Like Speed Shuttle's just been the way recently, but I mean, Bisu bringing out the old school style. You know, this is what was popular back in like 2005 to 2009. Like this was the way to play PvT, and you know, bringing it back out, dusting it off, and killing, you know, one of the strongest Terran players in the world right now. It's fantastic to see.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Yeah. Right, Jimmy says, I feel guilty for watching that game for free. Take my damn wallet. I mean, you can give me a little bit of my PayPal if you want, but no pressure. Thank you, though, Jimmy. Appreciate you.
Oh, man. That was fantastic. All right, I just need to have a quick pee here. I'll be right back.
All right, man. Sounds good. Be right back.
All right.
I'm back.
Okay.
Man, these games are nuts. Off the chain good.
Yeah, so good. You ready?
I'm ready. I feel like we're like the only caster duo that can like handle casting these intense games right now. I feel like even Tastosis would be like, "What the fuck?" Let's get it.
They're gonna be jealous of
So
us
jealous.
for casting these fantastic
So
games.
jealous.
Actually,
These games are
They
nuts,
see this?
dude. Holy shit!
these games are insane.
These are the best games being played right now. Saying, what are you talking about, man? Come on. God damn, we're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky. Shit.
Fuck, man.
Ooh, all right.
I'm grateful. I don't know about you.
Absolutely grateful. Let's go for this.
따져보면은 김명호 선수는 그냥 준결승이든 결승이든 갑니다. 여기서
Ooh, these have been some fantastic games, guys. This is the type of week of KCM that can reinvigorate your passion for this game. This is the type of week of KCM that'll make you think about reinstalling Broodwar just to give it another go, because you have witnessed the artistry that is possible in this game. Of course, your games will never, ever look like what we saw in that last one. The beauty of two pro players at the very highest level clashing is something to behold, but it can bring you some of that passion. It can bring you some of that joy and inspiration to play once again on the ladder. I'm feeling like a bit of a ladder session right now, aren't you, Shim?
I mean, I don't usually ladder that much, but yeah, I'm even I'm feeling the ladder bug, and wow, I'm speechless. My brain is just lit up right now. All my neurons are firing. I can feel the nerd tingles. Like the circuitry is just coming alive, and wow, I'm so impressed by these players' ability to not only demonstrate their artistry, but also their like unparalleled understanding of one of the most complicated and deep games we've ever been blessed with. And I feel eternally grateful not only to cast these games, but just to like be a part of this crazy community that we've been indoctrinated in willfully over these years. Saying I'm so blessed right now.
Yeah, me as well. So happy to be here casting these games with you, Shun. It's an absolute pleasure. And Bisu, watching him come out and bring, such an older style of gameplay. We haven't seen Arbiter, not to mention, Arbiter with the mass hallucination for such a long time, but his ability to bust that out in that last game and, make it work even against one of the strongest Terran players we have right now. Oh, beautiful play by Queen here, but no! Making a mistake with the micro there. You could see that the moving shot was happening for Bisu. He had that moving shot going, and Queen did this kind of sweet maneuver where he blocked the probe for a second and then bounced away from it to get that little bit of extra space, but then got stuck on the wall. So unfortunate for him there, losing his first drone, but at least he will get his third hatch down now. He's got a few links on the map. He's got his gas going. Losing that early drone, though, to the first probe is super annoying, though.
Yeah, and Bisu's just so incredibly on top of things. Like, I'm curious to see if he's gonna like really like turn around and start to really improve his PVT and figure out some of the issues that have been holding him back all this time, and he's going to kind of make a big splash out onto the scene. I would love to see that. Right now, though, he needs to be really careful. If he snipes this probe, he will get in to at least scout and harass the main base. Is going to be getting in there with 3 lings. It's a little bit annoying for Bisu to have to deal with. They are low HP on these lings. They probably won't get a lot of damage done, but it's still a big annoyance if they delay any mining or kill any probes here. It's a really big frustrating thing to have to deal with. And the fact that they're getting a full scout inside the main base allows Queen to optimize his lava production and produce exactly what he needs to put himself in the most cost-efficient state in the game possible. So Bisu instead is now going to put onto a lot of counter pressure, come across the map, and try and force as many lings as possible as he can out of Queen.
These lings have run by the Zealots here, and if Queen doesn't have like mass ling being produced right now, he's going to take a lot of damage. These 2 Zealots are making their way up towards the third. A third Zealot going to come up here as well. I think a lot of lings just did pop out, so these lings over here on the left-hand side, they might be able to run in and kill the cannon. If the lings from the main come in as well, he could get this cannon, he could get the pylon as well. This is a really big move. He might just be taking out Bisu here.
I think he has. I think Bisu might not be able to stabilize now because the Zealots are far too far away from the wall to make it back in time without being dealt with these lings that are coming in. This Zealot's now being beautifully trapped up against their Nexus. So Probe Drill does try and save it, not able to do so. 3 of the probes and 4 of the probes going down in quick succession. Now Queen is all over Bisu. Bisu's going to have to evacuate this natural expansion, probably make cannons in his main base. There's no way he can retake this natural expansion. He has got some Zealots and probes to try and fight this number of lings, but he's just going to make his way into the main base of those. So he doesn't even have to fight this Protoss force. He can just run around the main base over and over again and cause a lot of problems for Bisu to have to deal with. He's trying to do some counter pressure on his third base location, but Queen is on top of his multitasking, able to deal with that as well. There's a Corsair on the way, but there's not going to be enough Zealots to help deal with this Speedling force that's just running rampant in his main base. GG finally, cool. Bisu just dealt with in style.
Wow, that's just how quickly things can fall apart there. Once you let some lings into your main base as the Protoss, you cannot be leaving your natural with a cannon unfinished. He ends up losing to the counterattack, to the lings running into the natural, killing off that cannon, killing off the pylon is kind of the final blow there. And Bisu, after putting up some absolutely insane, great games, gets taken out by a ling play. That is the ebb and flow of Broodwar. If we had epic games every single time, we would be playing a completely different game. This is what it is, guys. And we're going to be jumping into our next game with Bisu getting knocked out by Queen. It's going to be Queen versus Light that's coming up next. All right. Well, jeez.
Yeah. The matriarch.
It is what it is. It is what it is. That's funny.
I mean, Bisu got super cocky there. Like, I feel like he was trying to, like, call Queen's bluff, and Queen was like, nah, I'm just gonna make non-stop lings and just win either way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like that's a way that you can win on ladder a lot. A lot of Protoss are cocky like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of Protoss will just send Zealots at you. You get lings by, and they just like, all right, well, you probably don't have lings back at home, so I'm just gonna send my Zealots at you.
Yeah.
And then no, I just make lings and I just kill you.
Well, what's
that's it.
What's interesting is that Bisu understands PvZ flawlessly. He knows that you usually don't move out with Zealots unless you already have cannons in your natural, and he didn't do that. He cut those corners. He left without the cannons already being finished. So he was trying to be really cocky there and like really cut as many corners as possible to have an advantage in the game, and it just bit him in the ass.
Bit him terribly, and like you could even like rationalize maybe moving out with the Zealots if you keep probes in the wall, like if you pull probes
but against
and hold
like
the wall.
Queen, like it's still too dicey, like because you need to hold. You need like 5 to 7 probes blocking to buy enough time. It's just not efficient. Like Bisu just shouldn't have done that. He just was too cocky for his own good. Too cocky,
yeah, or leave one Zealot in the wall with the 2-3 probes that can hold off for a while.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's just he didn't even leave even probes. He didn't even leave the probes there.
No,
That's brutal. And then also he only attacked the third base, which during a situation like that, Queen just does not care about,
Nope.
right? He's just like that's just a macro hatch for more lings. You know, it's not even
the hatchery does the same thing on 1 HP or 1,000 HP, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. He doesn't care. I mean, if he had ran into the natural, maybe he could have caught some lings, you know, like forced them to fight, maybe killed a drone or two or something, but he just like went behind the mineral patches at the third. Yeah, that's just not a winning position at all by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope.
No, Bisu making some mistakes. He can bleed. It is what it is. All right, you ready for this game?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
상대한테 맞기 쉬워요. 맞기 쉬운데 내가 때리기도 쉬운 거지. 서로 약간 난타전이 좀 약간 초반부터 빠르게 스피드하게 좀.
Well, Bisu getting taken down in very quick fashion there. Queen, unfortunately, did not make it into this season of ASL. He got knocked out, but still putting on a good show for us here in the KCM. I'm sure he's actually very embarrassed about that. If you guys haven't seen the video about that from Jinjin's channel, definitely go check that out. He's basically getting clowned on by all of the other ASL players. He's getting clowned on by even players who didn't make it into the ASL, like people like Calm, other Zerg players, just laughing at him for getting taken out by basically what amounts to a no-name player. Just a no-name ladder player that nobody even knows who he is. Ended up taking out Queen and ending his run in the ASL, which is actually astonishing to hear. And maybe that will be the fire under Queen's butt this season. He'll go back to the drawing board, practice up really, really hard, and come back with a kind of a renewed fury in ASL 18. We'll have to see, though.
He definitely needs to reinvent himself a little bit, and it could be just the ticket that he does need to do exactly that. But in this game, he's elected to go for a very early pull into expansion, so both giving him some opportunity to pressure a greedy CC first here and also be safe against any kind of 8 racks pressure. This is Troy, after all. It's slightly Terran favored. The statistics on it are a bit hard to glean because we don't have a great sample size to pull from, but as far as we know, this is a slightly Terran favored map and quite a heavily Protoss favored map against Zerg. So it's a little bit okay for Queen that he's against a Terran instead of a Protoss here, but still a slight advantage on this map for the Terran player from what we can glean from the statistics.
This is a really wild map, and we're going to have a bit of a wild build here from Light. I think we're going to see 2-port Wraith. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we're still seeing gas mined here by 3 SCVs right now, and that's kind of leading me to believe we're going to see 2-port Wraith here pretty soon. Going after the assimilators here, Queen going to try and block in Light, and he should be able to get like an angle here where you can hit with a bunch of lings and kill this assimilator. He's going to lock his opponent in, but I think this is kind of what Light wants, right? He's going to be able to take the 2-port Wraith build, take over the sky, and then probably just build a CC in his main and float down to that island base over on the right side of his main base.
This used to be the build that Light was known for being so good at. He's always been very good at these sort of like really like low economy technical cheeses that Terran can do. Back in the day, he was one of the best players at doing this kind of a 2-port Wraith cheesy way of playing Terran. It is cross map, so it does take a little bit longer for those Wraiths to make their way into the main base, but that doesn't really matter too much because sometimes that can even work to your advantage, because during the mid-game phase, when it's mutas or something trying to deal with those Wraiths, then it's actually a lot harder for the Zerg to keep track of those Wraiths in a cross map scenario, so it can actually work in Terran's favor despite being a longer distance to get to the Zerg.
I like that he's going for Hydralis Den here. He knows that he's not going to be able to get enough out in time to deal with that, but he doesn't have a sunken. I thought that he was definitely going to build the sunken colony at the front, but he's actually neglected to do that. At the moment that he saw the factory land, I thought that we would see that started, but instead he's going to rely on Hydralisk and the Ling defense here, which is pretty strong against the vultures here coming forward. And with the Lings backing them up, I guess he will be able to push everything back. So Pretty good calculated play here from Queen. You know, not having to build any Sunkens here and having the Hydralisk for the defense from the Vultures and the Wraiths coming up here.
Yeah, well, he can't afford to do both. He can't afford to go pull first and go Hydralisk then and make a Sunken. It's just too much of a hit to his economy here. So he's had to make a cut somewhere, and he's tried to defend with the bare minimum, and he's managed to walk the tightrope successfully. Now, though, his drones are going to be starting to be targeted down by these Wraiths, currently going to be 3-shot by the volley of those two Wraiths. It's when they start to get up to a higher count that the Wraiths become a real threat, because of the HP regeneration, they're not that scary in low numbers, but as soon as they get to a higher count, they become super scary for the Zerg to have to deal with. So right now, though, these Hydras are getting picked off one at a time. Beautiful use of these SCVs, adding a little bit of extra DPS. The SCVs have slightly more DPS than the other two workers, so can provide just enough tipping scale to turn fights in your favor. And he's doing a great job of that, is like using absolute minimal amount of units to the full effectiveness. Now going to be locking Queen out of this natural expansion while going to work on the Overlords as well. And as the third Wraith comes in, it's his time to kill the Overlords drops so significantly that now Queen's in a world of hurt.
Yeah, this is really down to Queen going for these Mutalisks right now. He's gonna get the Mutalisks out finally here, as everything is just kind of falling apart. But you know, if he had just been producing straight Hydralisks, he would have held this off no problem. But trying to do both techs at the same time is very, very hard. He wanted to just get the Hydras out, just barely enough of them to slow down the Wraiths from dealing too much damage and stop the Vultures from coming in here. But with the addition of the SCVs, like you said, and the Marines with their DPS, he was able to bust right through and deal a lot of damage here. Now Queen really on the back foot, really in a bad position. He does not have many drones. He needs to re-drone, and he can't really afford things like luxuries like Overlord speed here, so there's no way that he can actually attack his opponent.
And Light is so comfortable in the game state right now, he's just going to repair these Wraiths and go up to a really high Wraith count of, say, 8 to 11, and then he's going to go back in and just clobber Queen, and he'll start one-shotting Overlords. He'll start absolutely pulling apart this player, and there's be nothing that Queen can really do in a response. He'll try and get as many Mutalisks and Scourge as he can to try and ward away the Wraiths, but the problem is they have higher range than the Muters. So with perfect micro, these Wraiths will absolutely dominate the skies, and I think that's about to what we will see that in a moment here. There's no way I think that Queen can even win with good micro.
No, I don't think so either. We'll have to watch and see. Really, Light so good with the Wraith control, man. It's ridiculous, and he's going to get in here in a position where, you know, the Mutas aren't ready to quickly react, so he loses an Overlord immediately. Already able to pick one of those off. Scourge looking for the Wraiths here, trying to get confirmation on where they are. Cloak should be done now. So even if, you know, we see the Mutas of Queen get on top of these Wraiths, he's just going to be able to back away and immediately cloak and then turn and fight against these Mutas. And, you know, pick off a whole bunch of them without taking too much damage. It's just such a hard position for Queen to deal with right now. He should be getting Overlord speed at this time, but there's another base coming up here for Light, and he's switching now into Marine Medic. This is a brutal play. This is such a great follow-up by Light.
Yeah, this is the follow-up to really solidify your advantage in this game and just prevent the Zerg from having a hope at coming back. You can switch into a standard bio game behind the stack of Wraiths that he's got. He's got 11 Wraiths right now. He'll be one-shotting Overlords and almost one-shotting these Mutas as well. It's going to be a nightmare scenario for Queen. He needs absolutely perfect micro just to have a chance at trading cost efficiently with him. And I don't think that'll even matter, because with the bio behind it, I feel like Queen's just far too far behind the economic curve to keep up with this. There is a chance that he can get on top of Light and surprise him, get a few Scourge connections, or at least use the Scourge to zone out the Wraiths enough time for the Mutas to remain chasing and get enough DPS out to kill some of them. It's possible, but it's very hard.
He's going to go for one final gambit here. It looks like everything going to be rallied across the map. All of the Overlords are going to be coming with him. And he's just going to try and overwhelm, I think, in the main base. Try to take over these production facilities here. We don't have that many turrets right now. This is really a final attack here for Queen. He's going to actually... Wait, hold on. Double expansion behind this. That is not what I was expecting. Look at that.
Great response.
2 expansions. Center right and top right. He's kind of like... forcing out a lot of turrets here and then just going into a double expansion. That's crazy.
This is exemplary. Okay, so yeah, this is great. So you're forcing the Terran into dumping all his resources into defense, thinking he has to survive. You're limiting the economic prowess of the Terran player by doing so, while also playing wide. Because right now, the one thing he hasn't got is a wide production, and he's basically ramping that up with the double expansion. He's kind of fixing the hole in his play, while also now going to be switching into a more passive line of thinking, and that will now force a Terran player to be the one that's the aggressor again, and that will allow him to start to abuse this sort of high ground advantage, defender's advantage, and other factors he can now use to maybe kind of tip the scales enough in his favor to kind of not have to worry about this overwhelming threat of light.
I think this would have been great if he had started Lurker. If he had Lurker done right now, I think this would have been fantastic. But with just pure Muta here and a few Sunkens on high ground, I don't think he'll be able to hold on. The Wraiths are going to get a lot of damage here. They're even going to start to deal damage to the Sunken colony, and this is way too many Marines. He's going to have to fight the Marines with the Mutas. The whole time the Wraiths are going to be dealing damage to these Mutas. So now finally getting a couple of shots off on these Wraiths. Not too bad here for Queen. I guess he holds on just barely. Look at that. Holding on with just Sunken and Muta here.
Well, he's got the +1 Carapace on his air, which does give him a lot more sustainability in these sort of like skirmishes that we see with the Wraiths kind of trading with their Gemini missiles and trying to like outmuscle the Mutas. They're not quite getting dealt with as quickly as they would usually without that +1 Carapace. And also the Scourge will be harder to target down and kill before they make their connection. So there's something going for Queen here. And if he doesn't get these two bases shut down by Light, he will explode economically in the next like 3 minutes or so. So Light does have to do something here. He's getting on top of these overlords, trying to stop these overlords, but he's unable to do so. And now Queen trying to get on top of the race, but the overlords are just out of range, has to re-engage and get back to the overlords. So right now Light in control and able to push these all the way back and will snipe the remainder of these overlords if Queen isn't careful. Shaves off the majority of those Scourge as well. And now Light in a commanding position as the Mu is forced to retreat. Luckily though, didn't get caught in the wings of those Wraiths. If the Wraiths were in range of those Mutas as that overlord died, Queen would have lost pretty much half or all of those Mutas, and then Light would just win the game. So thankfully Queen's not going to die right away, but it's looking pretty dicey. I feel like he's only going to be in this game for another couple of minutes.
Yeah, he did manage to kill the two assimilators going into the top right-hand corner base, so he will be able to avoid losing that hatchery for now to the Marine attack, but I don't know if he can hold on much longer. We will have an Irradiate here pretty soon. There's the Irradiate energy. Is he going to be able to throw it down? Looks like he's just going to go for this space right here. Light going to be able to pick off another Overlord here as well. As the hatchery falls, Queen probably going to be able to get some, mining over there in the top right, but he's very cut off here from defending that area. Oh my god, he's going to go after the Simulator. Can he get both of them? No, he's not going to be able to get both of them before he gets out. That would have been hilarious, though, if he would have been able to trap all the Marines and medics in there.
Well, a B-rank Terran player on the ladder, maybe not paying attention, might have had his army in the base long enough before he could, stop the Mutas from containing him. But someone like Light, as soon as the hatchery goes down, is going to be fluid of his army once more and back out onto the map. So not going to be effective in doing that. Has got this Nidus canal set up to connect to this top right base, so he might not be out of the game just yet. But there's no way you can stop these Wraiths from picking away at your building. So he might speed up for a Ray Day on those Mutas. Queen tries to split, doesn't get a great split, gets an okay split, but has taken enough damage on these Mutas to... Oh, actually, Light needs to be a little bit careful. He's used a little bit too many of these Wraiths, so he can actually now stop these Wraiths from killing this Nidus canal, so that does give a little bit of life to Queen. Now that this Nidus won't die, it will mean that he can get this third gas online and keep a fighting chance in this game, and Light's response to that is to take this sort of ninja expansion in the bottom left to kind of secure his prowess and stay ahead of the curve once more. And with two dropships going all the way to the top right, I don't know if Queen will react to this quick enough to prevent himself from dying here.
Oh no, he sent the Scourge over towards the main base instead of sending them... Yeah. Oh, he's going to drop right here on top of the Lurkers, though. That's a funny place to drop. And the funny place to have the Lurkers here as well, but going to surround and kill those off. More Lurkers are going to pop out here from the Nidus, but not enough. Just two Lurkers here trying to pop out, and there's so much bio inside this base. He's going to bring forward the Mutas here to actually clear out some of the bio, but more can be picked up here in a moment and brought into the base to actually finish this off. With this base going down, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Light should be able to take this game now. Able to deal a little bit of damage to this hatchery right now. We're going to have another creep colony coming down. We should have another Nidus going up in the natural right now, back at home for Queen. He's going to run around behind the hatchery, try to get a little bit more damage here. We've got a few more mutas right now. Maybe just barely he can kill off those Marines, but even more coming up here to try and contest this position. He's going to run right up on top of these lurkers with a few quick targets. He should be able to pick those off. He does. And it looks like this base is going to end up falling. Wait a second. Another lurker pops out. More sunken colonies here. He's got some Scourge to maybe pick off those, or at least threaten the pickoffs on those dropships. And getting rid of the vessels is huge. Those two vessels going down might actually save this base as we get a Nidus online.
Well, Queen's trying to hang on to his matriarchy. Wrap your head around that little bit of a contradiction. But right now, it seems like Queen's just hitting a lose less button while Light's trying to whack a win more button. And so far, Light's winning. But the problem is that he's still unable to kill Queen, so there is still a fighting hope for Queen here. And as Artosis would say, like, technically the Zerg is immortal with 60-70 supply and rate and defilers and that, but it doesn't really matter right now. Like, with good micro and just like good control of his army now, will just come on top of this position. Even though the Dark Swarm's here, he can start to maneuver around it, snipe off this Nidus Canal, and start to be a real big issue for like the Queen's. But actually, it's like not able to be able to commit to killing that Nidus Canal. So instead, still this base is going to be online for Queen, and he's going to shuffle around maybe to this little corner pocket and keep the assault going. But since that Nidus is still online, actually can't finish the game yet.
No, can't finish the game, but Light is growing wider and wider. Look at him taking 2 bases down in the bottom left. He's going to have 4 gas online here shortly, with which he can build a kind of an insane amount of science vessels or battle cruisers, whichever one he chooses. And he just picked off the 3rd gas. This 3rd gas going down is so frustrating for Queen. Losing that once again, not going to be favoring him here. He's going to be really falling behind in terms of his gas units. Every single irradiate here is going to be massive damage for Queen, because he just can't afford to produce gas units here.
Yeah, it looks like Light's ahead in every metric right now. I don't really see a way of Queen coming back in this. He's going to try and get this 3 o'clock base online to secure a 4th gas, but Light just won't let him. And yeah, without the gas, there's just no way Queen can continue to fight him. You can't really fight a Terran with pure mineral units, and with only 600 gas a minute from these 2 geysers, it's not going to do it. And I think the biggest issue is that even though he's going to get these other gases online, by the time he's secured this 3rd and 4th gas, his main and natural gas are going to start to be depleted. So they will never have the kind of like influx of gas that he needs to really contend with this explosion of bases from Light. So he'll never have the gas count that he needs to actually combat these vessels and actually make his way out to the other side of the map.
Yeah, this is when you know the Terran player is about to win the game, is when the vessels start to throw down irradiates on absolutely everything. Overlords, Scourge, everything is a target here for these irradiates. Looks like we might catch these dropships coming into the main. No, he's just barely going to miss that, and the drops are going to get in here. The Lings are not on top of it either. We've got some Firebats mixed in here. Lings are just not going to be the ticket to stop this, and this might be the killing blow here. The drops in the main going to pull Queen apart here, going to kill a bunch of his tech, and although he's managed to sort of stabilize over there in the top right, he's sort of got that gas back online. He's kind of hanging on right now. It's just writing on the wall here for Light. He is eventually going to be able to take him down. Even if it takes another couple of minutes, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. There's so many vessels here to just continuously irradiate. I think once he sees the battle cruisers, Queen will tap out.
Yeah, this is like a I really win more button, because there's no way he can have the lava or gas production to actually deal with those battle cruisers anymore. You need 6 Scourge per battle cruiser at this stage. I think he's got the +1 carapace. Yeah, he's got the +1 carapace, so he won't lose the Scourge to 1-shots from these Bat BC. So actually 5 will do the trick unless he target fires the Scourge. So that's one thing going for him, but he just doesn't have the gas to deal with it. And now, with the D-Matrix back, just pouring into the natural expansion, desperately trying to get some lurkers through that Nidus Canal to burrow and amount of defense here. But at the very least, can be losing a lot for his time. And with the Bat even putting some splash damage onto those lurkers, this position just gets more and more soft as time goes on. And more Radiate's going to be just dancing around the units and causing splash damage in a pandemonium display in the natural expansion as all the units kind of jostle around and like damage each other. And it's just going to cause more and more problems for Queen. Well, Light's only getting bigger and bigger. So, and this, I think Artosa should take a note out of the book of Light here, because look how well he's playing. He's not only doing this style where he's trying to lay siege to the Zerg and keep, even though they're barely hanging on by a thread, but he's also expanded behind this. He's built BCs. He's taken so much gas advantage that it doesn't matter if the Zerg can cling on and trade cost efficiently. There's just no way that he can contend with this much gas being fielded by the Terran.
Yeah, look at Light keeping his gas count so low here. This is just, I mean, this is something that even the best Terran players in the world can't do when they've got 4 gases online, keep their gas count low. It's crazy to me to see him able to spend all of his money right now. He's almost maxed out, 172 supply. This is so impressive from Light, and Queen, there's just no way he can hang on any further. He's going to try and take a base here, a island base. That's like a kind of a good move, I guess. If you can get that online, that would be a really nice, extra place to start mining some more gas. But still, you're about to run out of gas in your main and natural, and finally he does tap out. It wasn't when the battlecruisers were revealed, but just a few moments later here, we're gonna have everything go down, and Queen finally throws in the towel. This is a fantastic week of KCM, though, guys. Look, we've got 1 player from each race left, securing the final game here. We are 100% going to that last game this week. No anti-spoiler necessary. So happy for that. And, guys, we're going to jump into our next game here. It's going to be Snow versus Light. My God, what a follow-up to an excellent game.
Oh my god, dude. It's like so good week. Like crazy week.
Crazy good, man.
자, 요거예요, 요거. 제가 말씀드리고 싶었던 게 최근 한 달 경기를 다 종합했을 때
Oh,
12승 5패. 이재호 선수를
legendary.
혈압 12승 5패를 할 수 있는 선수는 저는 없죠.
Look at that win rate.
없어요. 예, 대놓고 없어요.
인정.
Ooh,
이 정도로 전적 차이 벌리는
70%. Damn.
게 맞아요.
Snow.
장윤철 선수의
All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
진짜 장윤철 선수한테 일단 프로브한테 맞고, 질럿한테 맞고, 리버한테 맞고. 계속 쳐서
No, the final Protoss player from our lineup, the strongest Protoss versus Terran player that we have in the modern era. Going to be going up against Light here on Dark Origin.
과연
What is Light going to bring out against this player with 70% win rate in PvT? What are you even thinking here as Light? You're just going to play your normal game? Or are you just going to try and macro through the chaos, the hurricane that's going to be everything that Snow throws at you this game? Or are you going to go for some sort of special tactics here, try to take down Snow in a a unique way with something he hasn't seen before?
Well, the answer was to send out a very early SCV, prevent any kind of forward gateway from Snow, and then also take his own gas so it prevents the steal from Snow as well. So now going to be mitigating any potential rush potential and also denying the gas steal. He's going to try and optimize his build as a result of that, and like kind of make Snow have to navigate a game in which he maybe didn't expect and maybe thought he was going to get this gas steal early on.
Yeah, I think that is a really great response here to Dark Origin, right? Like, you would expect the Protoss player to steal your gas, and so if you're expecting the Protoss player to steal your gas and you delay your barracks in order to get that gas, prevent that gas from being stolen, maybe you die to a forward gateway, but in order to stop that gateway, you send out the early SCV. I think this is a great move. Oh, is he going to be able to save this?
What did I
5
just
HP. Oh my goodness. That was a crazy, crazy glitch there on that SCV. He will repair this with 2 SCVs. Keeping that alive is huge right now. Snow got to be a little bit frustrated, not able to get that final particle beam shot.
I think Light was spamming stop and right click to make the SCV glitch through and not be able to be targetable by the probe because it was just sliding through the other SCV. I was like, I can't imagine what was going through Light's brain to calculate how to glitch that. I'm not even sure that was intentional, but if that's intentional, that's insane, Sam.
좋다고요?
Yeah, he keeps that alive. He keeps his SCV on the factory alive as well. Such a good opener here by Light. A player like Snow is someone who can just dismantle you with his early probe if you're not absolutely on top of your game. And Light actually dismantling Snow a little bit here on his aggression with the early probe. Very, very well done by him. He's going to be able to get in here, possibly get the scout off. We've got the probe on the ramp. Going to be denying that. He sees the gateway on low ground here, but he can't get the confirmation on the range right now. And with this SCV going down, Snow going to be able to continue to deny that information here from Light.
Yeah, so far Light winning the early game like meta and skirmishes with Snow, and usually you wouldn't expect that. Snow's the kind of guy that you'd expect to maybe lose to like 70% of the time. He's crazy good at this matchup. Like even the best players could probably struggle to get that kind of win rate against him. Like he's so exceptionally well versed in not only his ability to control his units, but how to abuse these tiny windows where the Terrans are at their most vulnerable, which are these like transitionary points. And in every matchup, when you're transitioning into like a certain tech path or certain transition in your build order, that's where you're at your most weakest. And Snow's so good at coming in at these tiny little windows. Like just before this bunker's finishing, he comes in and snipes off a Marine just like that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He's so good at understanding these tiny little windows where he just comes in and abuses you.
Yeah, I think he's really thrown off Light here as well, because, you know, he did manage to block the scout getting into the main base, and then he also kind of hid his timing here on the Nexus. It's about like 3:30 to 3:45 is when a 23 Nexus will come down, and when you don't see that Nexus around that timing, it's really going to throw you off here as a Terran player. You might be expecting something like a Templar play, maybe like a really fast Reaver, because that's not going to be ranged. Now he is going to slip by here with the Vulture, but no! Snow finishing that off. Really good, decision making. Good star sense here to send that Dragoon down to the bottom left to actually catch that Vulture as it's being sent over. This is huge. Really, really huge for Snow. I think this is going to force Light to actually over defend here in his main and natural.
Absolutely, and meanwhile, Snow's just going to be doing like a 3-gate obs, nothing weird here kind of build, which is basically like the cookie cutter. Right, get on top of this tank though. Beautiful connections, not quite able to do so though. Repairing on that tank, preventing the double volley shot from those 4 Dragoons, finishing off Light, like barely staying out of the jaws of defeat there, but needs to be careful with this other tank now as he tries to get something. Snow's going to come in again, gets a little bit of a shot, and not quite getting the 4 connections that he needs. He won't commit to a tank snipe unless he gets the first 4 shots perfectly on that tank, and he wasn't able to do so there, so he quickly backs out. He's got 2 Dragoons on low HP, can't afford to lose any Dragoons right now. He needs to start recharging shields on those right now, make sure he's got enough Dragoons to prevent any kind of 3 to 5 tank push that could come out of Light at this stage in the game. With the 3 gateway, oh sorry, he's only got 2 gateways, he counted 1. Okay, so he's doing 2 gate obs into expansion, so being a little bit greedy here as Snow. It's still a very safe opening with the 2 gate obs, but now doesn't have like a guaranteed defense at something that Light could throw at him, so he does go for these like 2, 3, 5 tank pushes in the early game. Could actually do some damage here to Snow.
Yeah, it looks like Light hasn't been fooled at all by the early game here from Snow. You know, he didn't quickly add on an eBay that I have seen. He might have that inside the main base, but he's actually pushing out here with like sort of a Marine tank play. Looks like he's turned around and headed back home. He kind of faking that push. Yeah, there's the early eBay. So he did actually add on that eBay. Wasn't certain it wasn't going to be a DT play here. So kind of hiding his build well, but seeing the timing on the range, he knows that it's not going to be like a super early DT, so he gets the turret out at the time when that DT is possible here. It's going to be the observer play, so now that he sees the observers out here clearing out his mines, he knows that it's not that DT play. Instead, it is going to be just like 2-3 gate goon play into a third base there. He spots the third base as well. This is all great information for Light. He knows exactly where he's at in this game, and that's really half the battle here for the Terran player, is actually figuring out what the heck the Protoss player is even doing in the game. And he's going to add on this academy now so he can get scans going and kind of check out the main base, but for now, he really does have a good understanding of what's going on.
Exactly so. And Light basically was trying to delay these scanners, this academy tech, as long as possible, because when you make those scanners, like down 2 SCVs during that time. So he wants to delay that as long as possible to get his economy as healthy as he can. You don't want to delay your SCV count if you can help it. So staying active and reading the game state is so important for Terran, because being able to delay that academy and the comm stats for so long just gives him such a stronger economy to fight the Protoss player with. And now now with that economy able to explode up to four factories worth of production, which is a very aggressive place to be as Terran. It gives you a lot of options. You can both take your third base with this amount of production or put a lot of pressure onto the Protoss player. Meanwhile, Snow going into his namesake Reavers to try and put on some pressure while also simultaneously delaying the move out of the Terran player.
Moving forward here with that first Reaver. Looks like he's heading actually towards the natural here. Is he going to try to hit the bunker? Is he going to try and find some damage in the main? Light pretty well bunkered down here. Has those 4 Goliaths. The key to blocking a lot of these newfangled shuttle plays. 4 Goliaths will 2-shot a shuttle and pick that off very, very quickly. What are we upgrading right now? Is this +1 attack for a carrier? Is he going to go into a carrier play from here? That would be a little bit interesting from Snow. He's picking up his Reaver. He's getting some damage here in the main. He hasn't lost the shuttle yet. Oh my god. The shuttle going down to almost no HP. That is crazy that he managed to get out there. 7 health on that shuttle. Absolutely insane that he managed to get in there, get that damage, and get out again.
Well, Light is also quite naturally good at drop defense because he himself is a very drop-centric player. Back in the day, every Protoss on his team had amazing anti-drop play because that's all he would do is vulture drop against Protoss players. So all the Protoss players on his team would always have like goons waiting in the main base at the timing that the dropship would arrive. And all these other Protoss players that weren't privy to the practice house of Light just got absolutely decimated by it.
Well, here he's not going for any drop play. Just solid macro from Light was what we've come to know him for in the modern era. He's looking to possibly take this third base here soon. Has the armory spinning. Does not have even a starport here right now, but he should be adding that on relatively soon so that he can continue these upgrades and get into that late game mech play that he is so well known for here. Now, an observer coming forward, if he spots that, he could shut that down. It would be a big kill here to get that first observer. And I think he will go for that. Looks like he just barely doesn't get it. Oh my god, 3 HP on that. He really, really wants it here, though. He's trying to go for it. He will pick off the shuttle, though. Really nice snipe there on the shuttle. Gonna deal some damage to these Reavers as well, but unfortunately losing a tank there, not getting either of the Reavers. A little bit of a bad trade for Light.
Yeah, that's why you see these Terran players always get those 4 Goliaths. It's the magic number to 2-shot these shuttles and 1-shot these observers. He was a bit unlucky that time there. The observer barely surviving because of lack of connection, but it's just so efficient to go for this like perfect count of 4 Goliaths. You can just really optimize the tools in your arsenal as Terran player with these like perfect counts of units. And I think Terran players are starting to figure out the game enough where we see the likes of people like Snow struggle a little bit more against them, but it's still hard to contend with someone like Snow's ability to control Reavers the way he does. There's no one really that can do it like he can do it, and not even any legs upgrade on these Zealots. So this Vultures can actually snake over to this expansion on the left-hand side and frustrate this cannon going up by shaving off all the HP, get onto the left-hand side, kill some probes, and also maybe lay down some mines if he wants to, but he can't actually because the goons are on the left-hand side screening them. So instead they're going to be caught by these Zealots just as the speed kicks in, going down to just 1 Vulture. And it's actually really bad for Light because you don't want to bleed off too many Vultures. It kind of gives a lot of wind in the sails of the Protoss player to just come into a big Zealot goon force and overwhelm you if you haven't got enough Vultures to soak up that big clump of Zealots that are just going to run into you.
This map specifically, it is very hard to break a Terran player on 3 bases, though, with that kind of bridge setup here. He's going to be feeling pretty secure with a bunch of mines, turrets, and tanks sitting there. He should be okay for now. 4th base on the map. It's not going to be very viable for him to push out right now. Snow's identified that. He's identified it's going to be pretty simple, pretty easy for him to go ahead and take a 4th base here, because it's very unlikely that with all the Vultures that have gone down that Light will actually be able to push across these bridges and deal, get out into the middle of the map, deal with this army and try to push that 4th. So I think Snow really understanding the game state well here. He's got triple shuttle moving around this left side, but there's 2 turrets here. That is such a weird position to drop 2 turrets. He's going to lose one of the shuttles here before he even gets into the main, and look at that, Reaver gets taken down by one of these mines here, and he almost loses that second shuttle. It's so close to going down. It's got a Reaver inside, but it can't really do too much more damage. It'll get a couple more shots off, get some more vultures, actually getting an inordinate number of kills here.
Wow.
For the health that it actually has.
5.
Maybe like, what, 6? 5?
Yeah, 5.
Vultures went down. That's crazy targeting there from Snow. But look at this. He's going to transition into a 2-carrier play, 2-starport carrier from here. And he's had these upgrades rolling for quite some time. He's got to have +2 on the way by now. So he's going to come out with some carriers. If Light doesn't scout this, he's going to have like, 3, 4, 5, 6 carriers coming out with +2, +3 maybe online here very, very soon.
Oh, exactly. Saying right now, Light has like a 3 to like 3.5 minute window where he needs to actually mount an attack and actually execute it. And right now, he doesn't know that. So that's a big problem because he's not making the preparations that he needs to deal with the threat of Snow right now. So if he doesn't identify this carrier threat within the next 2 minutes or so, he won't have enough time to slowly, methodically push out onto the map and actually counter it. So right now, it's really dire for Light because every second that ticks by is another small percentage hit to his win condition.
Yeah, he is slowly pushing out here. Getting across these bridges is the main task. It's so difficult against a Protoss player right now. There's going to be a counterattack coming down here, but the little supply depot wall plus the mines and vultures here are going to really frustrate that, make it really hard. And I think that Light actually might be feeling a bit of... he might be having some, questions in his mind right now. Like, why is Snow allowing me to get across this bridge? Okay, never mind. Snow is giving him some trouble here. He is kind of frustrating this push across the bridges, and he's getting his army in position to maybe shut this down. A lot of Zealots here just taking a straight-up fight with the Vultures is not the greatest. Dragoons are going to fall back here. He doesn't want to lose all of his ground army right now. He needs to keep this alive. Oh, God. Big mistake here from Snow. He's microing somewhere else. He loses about 5 Dragoons there, kind of for free. That is not what you want to do. That might be actually the bit of a swing that Light needs to get out here on the map and make a push happen right now. Losing those extra 5 Dragoons was a big mistake.
Yeah, this is the trigger that Light needs. He needs to go and needs to go now. And there's enough time for him to get across the map and actually still deal with the carrier threat. It's just he needs to do it exceptionally quickly. He needs to come out all the way to this western side, get on top of this 4th base and put a lot of pressure. He might catch the probe transfer, actually. Looks like he's going to scoop up some of those probes in the shuttle. Wise little quick reaction there from Snow to save the majority of his economic transfer there. And meanwhile, looks like Light going to be inching his way to this 4th base location. He can maybe not only put pressure onto this 4th base, but also cut off this bottom left and take out 2 for 1. But the problem is, if he doesn't know about this carrier threat, he's going to be thinking he's in a great position. But meanwhile, he's actually on a clock, and eventually Snow's just going to whack him with like a 3 to 6 carrier surge. So this could be a real dire situation for Light if he doesn't identify this soon.
Yeah, he is pushing forward here pretty well. He's doing this a bit slowly, though, where Snow really doesn't have that much army. He shouldn't be able to slow it down this much. He's going to pull his probes away and send them, I think, over towards the top right. And just having some mining around the map is all that Snow needs at this point. He just needs some mineral income somewhere. Here down in the bottom left is great. Over at the top left, if he can manage it, it's going to be fantastic. He's escorting these probes over towards the top right. He just needs money for, continued carrier production and some interceptors. And, if he doesn't have this base in the center left, I think he's going to be fine with that as long as he keeps his carrier production going. And he's getting back up to a max. I think he's got to have at least 4 carriers by now, maybe even more.
He's got 3 Stargates, I think, so he's going to have 3 carriers, and then he's going to go up to 6, and that's the magic number. 4 is enough to fight, 6 is enough to start to really chip away at the Terran player. So with that 6 carrier count that he will be going up to soon as these other 3 Stargates finish up their production, he's going to explode out onto the map with those carriers, and once he gets up to 9, it's probably going to be lights out for Light. Light is playing a great game against a normal Protoss setup. This is not a great game against what Snow's actually doing, and that's the problem right now. Light thinks he's in a great position, and he's really not.
I don't see that many Goliaths here, Shun. I think that we are in big, big trouble. Gonna drop some Templar here just to buy a bit of time, try to slow down this tank push down towards the bottom left. It will eventually kill this base, but I don't see this as really a super big deal here for Snow. He has mineral mining in the top right. He has his 3rd base and his natural still mining. All he needs is just a little bit, just a tiny bit of mineral income to keep these interceptors going, and he's going to dive on top of a bunch of tanks here in the middle of the map. This 5 carrier force here making its way down. He's actually going to try and save the base in the bottom left. I don't know if this is the greatest choice. I think he could have killed a bunch of tanks here in the middle if he had just gone straight for them.
Well, I think he wants to snipe off the vessel and then get on top of the Goliath count that's already down here, these 4 Goliaths here, and start shaving off the Goliath count instantly. It might be a wise choice for him. But yeah, right now, Light did a good job of like melting these bases on the left, but right now Snow's falling on top, and he needs to be careful. Light has done a great job of putting a little counterattack in this top right, frustrating the economy in the top right corner with those vultures. But look at all these tanks just left undefended. He hasn't got the kind of factory count that he needs to pump out so many Goliaths that he can just walk over these carriers. So right now he's going to be having a field day. These are like ducks in the bottom of a barrel, and they're just quacking away while getting decimated. This is avert your gaze, Terran players. This is brutal.
Yeah, this is so punishing right now. Not having the Goliath count is going to cost Light this game, no doubt. Having a no 4th base online here. He finally scans up there and sees where the carriers were being produced. I think he's just seeing that for the first time, and he is going to be caught completely off guard here. So many tanks have gone down, and even more are about to fall. He's actually pushing forward here, whereas his rallies are coming up from behind and just getting picked off one by one. Here comes some more Goliaths, but this is just a losing battle here. Snow is going to take this game. He's killing so many tanks right now.
Crazy.
Oh my god. This massive tanks that has been slowly built up here by the Terran over the entirety of this game is just completely useless here against the mass carrier that has been brought out by Snow, and even more carriers making their way to the front here. This force is unstoppable. 8 carriers. I don't even see what the upgrades are, though, right now, but they've got to be really, really good here. GG is finally called. He had double cybernetics core for quite a long time, and he started that +1 upgrade on the cyber core like right after he finished range. I feel like really, really soon after finishing that range. So this was in the mind of Snow from the beginning of the game. A great hidden tech play there from him, hiding the carriers up there at the 12 o'clock. Oh, great game from Snow, man. Light has got to be sour about that one, though.
Oh, he's definitely going to be sour about that. He had 2-2 grades as well. Wasn't even at 3-3. And I think he probably would have had like 2-1 or 2-2 on those carriers. And maybe even a shield upgrade. Maybe even 2-1-2. Or at least 2-1-1. Like, either way, crazy good grades and way too much for Light to handle. Crazy game. Like, Snow had that game state on lock, and Light the entire time was convinced he understood what was happening, and he was playing a great game from his side of things, and he thought he was in a commanding position. Meanwhile, the entire time Snow just was landing on top of him in the game, the grand scheme of things. They're saying phenomenal player.
Yeah, how good do you have to be as a Protoss player to where Light doesn't even realize that you're building 3 Stargate carriers?
Right.
He's looking at your army. He's just like, oh yeah, this is what Snow should have. This is about the right number of units. But actually, he's already got way more money being spent into carrier. You don't even realize that that's happening. That is insane, dude. Snow is so good, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how you even deal with someone like him. I don't think there's any Terran player that has Snow figured out, like, in any sense of the word. And if Snow's performing at his A game, I really don't see any Terran player beating him in like on statistics. I feel like Snow's always going to inch ahead to like 60-70% win rate against a lot of these players. I can't see them being able to figure him out at this point in time. He's just got the matchup on lock.
The final. Snow versus Action. Oh my god, what a week, man.
Crazy.
Oh.
Man, I can't even believe the quality of these games. Honestly, even the games that were quick and sweet, like even they had like really strong execution from the person that won. You know what I mean? Like Queen, for example, on Retro or whatever it was. Like, yeah, it's just, oh man, I'm really impressed by the gameplay this week. It's phenomenal.
It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, all right.
I want to be right back, sir.
One last game. All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello, Poppet.
Ready?
Ready?
Hello, Pulpit.
Hello, Poppet.
Alright.
You ready?
Yeah.
그러네요.
Let's go. Final game of the night here. Snow versus Action. No need for that score screen anymore. The lineup is clear here. One final game with Terran already being knocked out. Again, taking home 0 points, man. Terran just having such a rough season, but I hardly even care right now. This has just been such a good day of games, man. It's just been so back and forth. So many great showdowns between these awesome players.
Yeah, Sane. Honestly, I feel like no matter what race you represent or are rooting for, it's hard to deny just the quality of Starcraft we're witnessing right now. And I feel like even if the guy you want to win isn't winning, I feel like you're still going to be blown away by the quality of games here. So I hope you guys are having a great time, because we certainly are, aren't we, Sane?
Yes, we absolutely are, and this should be a fantastic game as well. We've got Action here, who is super hungry for ASL, for good performance in the upcoming tournaments here. He has been grinding away like a madman and has looked fantastic in his late game as well as his early game control and decision making. We'll see if it's good enough to take down Snow here, who has also been grinding away like crazy. Guys, you got to check out Snow's stream sometime, by the way. He's got a very cute little young son who's often, messing around outside of his door, and I've seen him streaming quite a lot recently. He's grinding like crazy. He's a dad. He is a family man, and he is a StarCraft player through and through. This guy is an absolute beast, and always a pleasure to watch him play.
I mean, one of the more fascinating titles under his belt is probably Foot Clapper, I would say.
Yes. The essential, the kind of most memorable celebratory move from any player we've ever seen, the foot clap, just bringing out the style, honestly. And I'm just kind of blown away right now by his control here with the probe actually blocking this drone from moving forward like 3 or 4 times here and almost picking it off. Action got to be getting a little bit frustrated here, not even able to bring his drone to bear, not even able to bring his drone out here to actually take this base. Things are not looking good here for Action starting off in this game. He's going to start popping out some lings. He's got his gas going, but he hasn't been able to throw down this third, and he actually needs to get this down here pretty quickly.
Yeah, one thing I would like to point out is that I'm not too surprised by Snow's ability to control this the way he's doing. He has such dexterity over all 4 of his chimp-like feet, and no wonder he claps with them, because he's just got such good control over all 4 paws, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, look at this. Action mined gas, and he doesn't have a layer. So he actually, I think, went into ling speed here, and he's popping out a lot of lings. He's kind of feigning that he really wants to get this hatchery down, and that Snow's really got him in a bad situation here by, not allowing him to get that. But he's popping a lot of lings right now, and the forge is not done. We don't have a cannon here. Luckily, Snow's brought back all his zealots, so he's got 3 zealots here to hold off this wall, but he's going to take a lot of damage on this gateway, and more lings are coming forward here, and Speed is about to finish. There it is. Speed finishes. He runs by immediately here into the main. He's got 3 lings behind the wall, and that's all he needs to dive on top of a cannon once it starts finally getting thrown down here. Oh, he runs out! That is a surprise. I did not expect to see him run out here with the lings. What was that?
Oh, it's okay. So right now he's doing a Hydra follow-up. So what he wants to do is get some Hydras to finish Snow off. He needs to make sure he maintains his ling count while also simultaneously going to be then target firing down the gateway, then goes back into the main base, because he knew the timing of the cannon would be so slow, and is now going to frustrate Snow while also switching into a 973 bus. So it's actually really like hyper high level from Action that we're seeing, and Action is coming. I mean, Snow is in a world of hurt right now because he's not going to expect this powerful, potent 973 timing because he didn't see the den go down. The probe popped just as he was throwing down the den, so he won't be aware of this follow-up. He might be thinking that Action's droning hard behind this and won't be doing any kind of timing. And look how late this Stargate is. He's not going to be able to identify this threat anytime soon, so he has to kind of guess. And the situation where you're guessing, at the very best, you're hedging your bets as Protoss, and that's not a position you want to be in. So at the very least, Action's in very strong control of this game for the time being, and may even just bowler him over as soon as this 973 hits.
Yeah, he didn't send out anything. Snow didn't like send a probe or anything out on the map. Once the Lings ran by, he was just too focused on dealing with these Lings here at the front, and more Lings are being produced with Hydras following up behind that. Even if there was a probe out on the map, it would have a high chance of actually being denied from getting over there. This is almost a 100% loss here for Snow, I think, unless he's just building cannons on pure star sense here. I think he's just going to be pushed right out of this game. He's got 2 cannon, that's it. That's not going to be enough to hold on.
The only thing you can do as Protoss here is, like I said, hedge your bets, start morphing in the cannons and then cancelling them at like 99% when you don't need them. But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to min-max to that degree. He wants to try and save as much as possible. He makes a Dragoon even to try and help deal with the Lings in the main base. But it's not going to be enough because now here comes the Hydras getting on top of these cannons as the Lings on the main base help this offensive take place. And now the other cannon could be targeted down by these Hydras. Cannot mount a strong enough defense. Has enough Zealot probe to fight off the follow-up force of the Zerg, but it doesn't matter because now Action's going to start hammering at this wall. He has just barely enough infantry to challenge this, though, coming out with these probes off the line to try and frustrate these Hydras in their small number. Does catch one of the Hydras, though, not able to kill it, but good effort from Snow here, trying to use as much of his forces to his ability to try and get on top of the Hydra cannon and prevent it from getting too big and out of control, but he's losing his infantry slowly but surely, and now going to be getting on top of these cannons is Action. He has it clocked in his head exactly when the cannons will be morphing in. A good Zerg player knows the timing on those cannons, so he'll be just killing them at the last possible second like we see here and buying enough time for his rallied units to get across the map and be enough of a tempo swing that Snow can't stabilize.
Oh, dude, the Ling follow-up is so genius here. Building like 6 Hydra to go for the attack. Oh my god, look at this surround. Wait a second. Action did not pay attention to those units. He just lost like... what was that, 5 Lings and a Hydra there? And he doesn't have Hydras following this up. I mean, they might be coming across the map now, but he built like pure Ling to follow this up so that he could kill those cannons and, you know, keep the pressure on here. But another Zealot going to pop out. These cannons are getting close to finishing. Snow is still in a really bad position. He's lost a lot of probes here. But maybe the cannons warp in time. Are you kidding me right now?
Positioning of these probes by Snow. His control is next level. He must be using his feet and his hands simultaneously to increase his precision right now. This is absolutely off the chain what we're seeing from Snow. He's kind of stabilized himself from the jaws of defeat despite them clamping down on him. I'm actually blown away by him. He's going to lose his gateway at the front, preventing any more Zealots from popping out and soaking up these Hydra shots. There is still a positional disadvantage as these cannons on the left will not be able to hold well against this Hydras. If he wants to, he can pounce now and get these 2 cannons. He's going to do that. He has the timing now and kill both of these 2 cannons and start to chip away at the ones on the left if he wants to, but he doesn't have enough Hydras to do so. He might just barely not get this cannon on the left in time. He does just snipe it with his 2 Hydras left by the forge. Now he can come in and snipe this other cannon off and get on top of Snow. Beautiful target firing and timing by Action. He's fully aware of the game state right now and is doing his best to navigate it. He's trying to get on top of these cannons one at a time as they warp in and try and frustrate the position of Snow, because even though he's got these 2 cannons up on the right hand side, the left flank is exposed, so now the forge will go down. Snow desperately trying to fight as many cannons as he can to stabilize this small pocket of defense that he's got, holding on by a thread right now, trying to use the probes to zone out the Hydras from getting into position to snipe these 2 cannons. Right now Snow's hanging by a thread and Action's trying to bite through it. It's going to snipe that cannon just barely, and he's now going to start targeting these other cannons down that are now exposed. I don't think Snow can hold into this position. He's barely going to get this other cannon warped in, but it's enough Hydras to overwhelm, saying.
Yeah, my god, this is such a butt clencher here, guys. The cheeks are tight right now on Snow. I can guarantee you that. He is just barely hanging on. He gets another cannon up, but with more Hydras coming and no forge here, he can no longer build cannons to try and reinforce this position. I don't think he even has the money to do so anyway, with so many probes being pulled to try and hold on. GG is finally called. Action takes this final game away. It clamps those cheeks, man. God damn, that's gotta feel good here. After being harassed so heavily in the early game as a Zerg player, I know how great it feels to bust through a Protoss player. They're just being so cocky, just hitting you over and over again, delaying your hatcheries, frustrating your attempts to get into a reasonable mid game, and so you just bowl them over early. You turn the aggression back onto them and win a game like that. Very well done by Action here to finish this off. I'm sad that we didn't see a long game between Action and Snow, because I think that would have been insanely epic. Both these players so good in PvZ late game, but I'm really glad that we got a nice finisher here with some really tense moments there with the hold of that natural. Finally, Snow getting taken out. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, on the contrary, saying I'm really happy that we saw a very technical 973 bust like that. That is the modern style, to go for a lower Hydra count and then pure Ling follow up to kind of soak and overwhelm the position. But Snow just did such a great job of stabilizing the position and show just how defendable it is, despite like all hope being lost. And wow, I'm kind of speechless by the quality of games we've had this evening. Like the Starcraft's been absolutely out of this world, and it almost feels like these players are like, they're not just players, they actually are creating stars with the amount of artistry that's being woven on the digital network that these players are like interfacing with. Surely there's something deeper to this game that we're not privy to as mere mortals.
All right. Well, what should we say about the final here? Where are we at? Oh, where's the final score screen here? There it is. My goodness. A great day of StarCraft. How should we round this one out, Shun?
It's hard to know what to talk about because there's so much. Because almost every single game tonight has been either a 9 out of 10 game, a 9.5 out of 10 game, or a 10 out of 10 game. You know what I mean? It's crazy the quality of games we've had. I don't even know I don't know what we can isolate to talk about. It's been that crazy. Well, okay, we've got 2 weeks left. So Zerg can tie with Protoss if Protoss don't get any points. So I think it's safe to say that most likely Protoss is through to the finals, bar some crazy blunders and craziness. I think that now we can talk about the Zerg versus Terran semis that we're most likely going to be having. We could talk about that point structure way of thinking, because we've got only 2 weeks left now, so maybe we should talk more about that, because the kind of games are a bit more self-explanatory of how good the quality's been.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's going to kind of align here with the start of the ASL, right? So we're gonna have the round of 24. That's going to be February 26th, and next week is week 7, right? And the week after that is going to be week 8. That's going to be the 29th. So, or the 28th, I guess. So that's going to be the same day as Group C: Hero Killer, Mind, and Stork. So we probably won't see those players in there.
That's a shame.
And I don't know, other players might be, busy preparing. They might not want to play. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but things are going to start to clash here with the ASL. But it's going to be interesting.
Well, what would you want to talk about? Do you want to?
I don't know.
And we don't need to say a lot, honestly. Especially on week 7. Week 8, we probably want to wrap up a lot more, but on week 7,
sure.
Let's just talk about the current point standings that explain how, unless Protoss gets 0 points in these next 2 weeks, which is very unlikely, then it's going to be a Zerg versus Terran semis, and what that might mean.
Sure. You can bring that up. I'm just going to say that this week's games speak for themselves.
Yeah.
This is an amazing week, and you can mention about the TVZ finals, and I will just mention that we're gonna have some clashes with the ASL.
Do you mean TVZ semis
coming up? TVZ semis, sorry. Yeah. TVZ semis, and I will mention about the clashes that we're gonna have. in the future weeks, but that we are still going to keep going into the ASL season. Looks like we're going to have the 7, 8, and then semifinal finals. We're going to have like the finals on the 14th of March, I guess. 14th of March or 13th of March.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's roll it.
All right. Well, guys, a fantastic week of Broodwar here of KCM, and I think these games speak for themselves. I don't have anything else to say about all of these amazing 9s or 10s that we've had back to back here in week 6 of the KCM. Do you, Shun?
Absolutely insane. I think the games speak for themselves as far as that's concerned. Looking at the board, though, we see Protoss kind of not quite breaking out into the stratosphere as we maybe were anticipating, but they still have this 4-point lead over Zerg, 10-6. So, bar some crazy blunders in week 7 and 8 where they get absolutely no points, it's going to be a Zerg versus Terran semi-finals, which I'm super excited for. How do you feel about that?
Zerg versus Terran semifinals, I'm all for it. I love Zerg versus Terran. Whoever takes that game, I'm assuming it's going to be Zerg, just based on the results that we've had from Terran so far. But anything can happen in those semifinals. I would have much prefer to see ZVP finals, but a TVP will not be disappointing either. I think that things are going to be a little bit chaotic here going into these semifinals and finals, though, as ASL is just about to begin. For example, in 2 weeks, we're going to have week number 8, and that's going to clash with our Group C here for the ASL. Hero, Killer, Mind, and Stork. So likely we won't see those players in that final week of the regular season of KCM. And then we're going to be wrapping up the KCM on the 13th of March, so well into the season of ASL. So we'll see what other clashes there might be, guys, but things are really ramping up here. You can see that all the players are super dedicated to their craft. They're super ready and getting fully prepared, fully invested in this new season of the ASL, and the KCM is just going to benefit from that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here this week. It's been an absolute pleasure. Shun, thanks for being here with me today, guy. It's been almost a year. It's been almost a year of KCM, man.
What a great way to round out a year of casting together. I mean, honestly, I couldn't have wished for a better, happier Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. It's been absolutely a pleasure of a year casting for you guys, and we hope to bring you more and more great games in the future.
Yeah, love is in the air, guys. Love for Broodwar, love for each other. Thank you, brothers. See you next time. All right.
That's a certified hood classic right there.
Yeah, we killed it. We absolutely slayed it.
Man, I know this is blowing our own trumpet, but no way Tastosis could have done a better cast of those games. No way. No way. They wouldn't have been able to handle the hype, you know what I mean? They would have made a good hype of it, but they would not have been able to also give that amount of energy and technical analysis at the same time. That was spot on cast, saying you did a great job.
You too, man. You too. I love the confidence. I love the confidence, man.
We smashed that out of the park with a force of 1,000 suns, man.
Yeah, we killed it. This this cast deserves fucking 20K views. we need 4 times more people watching this shit, man.
God, that was good.
This shit is amazing. So much fun.
I will struggle to see that ASL games will be able to keep up with the consistency of quality of weeks like that. There'll be good games in the ASL, but the consistency of games, that was crazy. We've never seen anything like that Like you usually see like a few great games in the week, but you never usually see like that consistency of great games. And also how back and forth the tempo swings were when players were like, it seemed like they like had the game like on lock, and they just didn't. Like it was still back and forth, and both players executing at a high level. Even the players that were losing were performing out of their mind.
Yes, absolutely. Both sides always performing so well. It's a remarkable day of StarCraft, man.
What a Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Valentine's Day
Happy.
special right there.
That
Nice, man.
was fun.
One thing I will say though is when there's no other sound, like there's no like say Korean commentator voice or game sounds or whatever, I do notice a little bit of background like fan sound. So you might want to either clean up the audio during the portions of the recording where there's no other sound, or you could even consider putting in some like very quiet like background music during those like silent segments to kind of like, you know, fill that void a little bit. I don't know how you want to deal with that, just in case the audio is a little bit sounding like that on your
Oh,
end.
you mean the like when we were wrapping up at the end?
Yeah, when there's no other sound, like there is a noticeable fan on your mic, so you might want to either clean up the audio post or just have like something in the background to kind of like add a little bit of like pink noise, so to speak, so it doesn't like it's not as noticeable or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
You don't want to check that in the
I
post.
think I'm gonna check it because I think that like my sound for Discord might be like less clean than my sound for my recording because it's not going through OBS. Like I don't have the what's it called set up the
Yeah, you said that last time, right? You said that you were
filters.
worried last time, and then afterwards it was okay. Is that right? You said that.
Yeah,
last
there was last time there was like a problem with my mic. Like I had to like unplug it and plug it back in to make it work properly. This is just like my I know it's my my fan my the fan for my my computer
Yeah,
is a little bit loud, you know, but
but
I have filters
but it's mainly
that
noticeable
are
when there's no other sound going on. So you can do something about that, because when there's no other sound going on, you can either clean up the audio or put in your own background audio or whatever, right? So that's no problem for you.
right. Yeah, no, it's no problem. It just the filters should be clearing it out. It might only be audible to you because you're hearing my voice without filters.
Exactly that. Yeah.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
hopefully, post we won't even notice it much, so it won't even be a factor. And yeah, Dustin just said that about it not being so. Yeah, but Dustin, from what we've experienced recently, it seems like that's only live from his like. Is it, you're using virtual cable? Yeah.
I'm not using it right now.
Or you're not using virtual cable. Okay, that's why then, right? Because you're not like
Yeah.
Okay. So because he's not using virtual cable like I am, you're hearing my voice with filters, whereas you're not hearing his with the same kind of filters because he's not running virtual cable. So his recording will be fine, but the live won't be.
Things get a little bit too complicated when I'm trying to do all the recording and everything and the virtual filter at the same time. So
yeah, so you've tried to simplify it. You're in, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal as long as it's okay in the recording. Real good.
I'm gonna listen to it right now. Let's see what it sounds like. Sorry.
By the way, Dustin, while I've got you here, I was going to ask you actually. You're a whiskey man. I was talking to someone recently about like mixing whiskeys, like what whiskeys are good for mixing, and I had the idea that like Jack Daniels was one of the better, cheaper whiskeys for mixing. Can you confirm that, or would you like have like better opinion on like cheap whiskeys that are good for mixers? Especially as far as like mixing with like Coke is concerned, I can't think of like a better cheap whiskey than Jack, but I could be completely mistaken and not know of something better. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying in as far as Coke is concerned. Yeah, I think Jack is like the king for Coke, right? At least that's what I'm aware of. I thought maybe you might have a better opinion since you're a whiskey man. Yeah, because that's what I use for Coke. If I want to mix my whiskey, I'm usually grabbing Jack just to be cost efficient, so I can like get drunk enough, cheap enough. You know what I mean? Because I can like blow through like half a liter of whiskey to get drunk. It takes me a lot. I like Jim Beam. Jim Beam's probably like what I would go to if I wasn't buying Jack. But yeah, it depends on what you get in the shop, right? Because like say, for example, sometimes in a shop in the UK, you might get like, I don't know, like a liter, or like a decent bottle of Jack for like 20 quid. Whereas like other shops, you might have to pay like 25 plus. So it's like depends on, you have to shop around and see what deals you can get as well. Because like you can get quite varying prices on alcohol. How's the recording sound?
Just listening right now.
It's hard to talk. Yeah, it is. Because it doesn't translate at all, right? Like not even remotely. Especially if like bourbon, for example, being actually produced in like America. You know what I mean? Like if you're producing it locally as well, like the prices can be way different. Not to mention like taxes and stuff. Like different countries. I mean, countries usually tax like alcohol and tobacco out the wazoo anyway, but it's still dependent on country, just how much and whatever. And you got like import costs to consider and shit. Like the actual landing price of whiskey is going to vary greatly depending on region. That's crazy, Dustin. God damn, I got a lot of messages to go through.
Yeah, I don't hear anything in the background. I think my filters are doing the job.
Oh shit, that's not good. Okay, then I would recommend you either try and clean up the audio post on the segments where there's no background noise, like during games and stuff, or use like a very faint like background music or something.
No, I'm saying that I can't hear anything, and the filters are working.
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood you completely. Okay, then we're good.
Yeah,
right?
it's working fine.
All right, good.
It's just I think it's just because I'm not using the wire, the digital wire or whatever.
Yeah, the virtual cable. That's it. That's the
virtual
only thing.
cable, yeah.
Yeah, but it just sounds bad live, or rather, not as good live, because that's the only. Yeah, the recordings won't be affected by that if you're not. Yeah, so that's good to know, though. It's good to know that it's be fine post no matter what.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I guess we should still do obviously audio tests to make sure it is sounding fine. You don't need to replug your mic or something like before, but as long as we're doing the audio tests, we're going to be good.
Yeah, I think it should be good.
All right, man. That's good news. I'm happy about that.
Nice. What did you think about the new intro?
Oh yeah, you changed it. Yeah, no, it was good. I liked it. You always pick some good intros, man. Like, I like that you use DBZ theme stuff. And you also pick like niche DBZ stuff. You don't just pick like the more obvious choices of intros you could use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so much to choose from, and there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I really love the interactions between like Vegeta and some of the villains in the show as well, like the androids and shit. Like there's some really funny interactions that you can use in intros in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a little video about Vegeta. I might use it in an intro later, but I made it just as like a regular video. Here, I'll send it to you. I didn't have it, like I released it without notifying my subscribers, but it's just like an extra little thing. You can check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm gonna put my voice activation back on. Yeah, I noticed right at the start of the cast, I had my voice activation still on. I quickly turned it off. I'm not sure if like any noise bled through right at the start of the cast. I hope it didn't. If it did, I'm sorry. It was only for a few seconds, I think, at the start.
Okay, I don't think I noticed it.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't doing much. I don't think you would have heard much, but yeah, it was only for a few seconds at the start of the cast. Damn, man.
Did you see it?
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was replying to messages from what we were talking about before stream.
Gotcha.
I got distracted. I'll look. I had like over a dozen messages to go through, so I was a bit distracted. I'm looking now. Oh yeah, the can machines feel fear one?
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Let me ask you, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear?
Yeah, makes a machine scared. Like, it's like next level shit.
I love that. I love that first line, man.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Can machines feel fear? It's cold, yeah.
Does a machine like you ever experience fear? So fucking epic. Hey, let me just you always think of like AI or whatever taking over the world, like a Terminator or something like that. It's like make that fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger bitch make run away from me in fear.
You just need like a Vegeta or something in the world to turn the tables a little bit. Some crazy motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Just like his whole demeanor during that fight
it's
was
unhinged,
just like
right?
was meant.
Psychotic.
It's unhinged. It's psychotic. It's like he's not even gonna look at you. You know what I mean? While you're doing your bullshit, like he stands there and lets him grab him, and he just like stares straight ahead without even looking at him.
It's like that stereotypical, like I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me kind of attitude.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
Oh shit, man, I love it. I'm all about it.
It's awesome. Yeah, I might weave that into an intro in the future.
Man, you should. That was exactly what I was thinking. That scene was exactly what I was thinking of when I mentioned his shenanigans with the androids. Like, it's so funny. Like, he had funny interactions with like the others as well, like 17 and shit. But that one's probably the most notable, I think. That cold moment there.
Yeah, for sure. And when he went Super Saiyan for the first time, that's one of the things that I really love about Dragon Ball so much is like scenes like that where he goes Super Saiyan for the first time and he's talking about it. Like it has so many like what's it called? It reflects real life so much. Like art reflects life, right? And like when he was saying that, he was struggling so much to with the fact that Kakarot was ahead of him. Like Goku was surpassing him, even though he had been training his whole life. He had been fighting for Frieza and like battling through all of these difficulties. And then like this other guy just is better than him, right? Like he's always comparing himself to Kakarot and like how he's not as good as him, he's not progressing as quickly, and like he's being surpassed by Kakarot. And then he has the moment where he he just decides like he just doesn't care. You know what I mean? He just lets it go. He lets go of like comparing himself to Kakarot. He just says like he doesn't even care about Kakarot. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't even care if he lives or dies. And that's when he finally like reaches Super Saiyan 1, right? Like he finally transforms to Super Saiyan. It's got so much like weaved into it where it's like, you can't compare yourself to other people and continue to rise. Like you have to let go of all that bullshit. You have to like in order to progress, in order to like become great, you have to just let go of everything and focus all your entirety of your being on just becoming the best that you can be.
Well, Kakarot like inspired him to push himself, but ultimately he could only ever compare himself to himself. Like the only way to break through those barriers were to isolate himself from the equation, like, and focus on just being a better version of himself over and over again. Like, and that way you can also truly push yourself to be the greatest. Because if you're only ever comparing yourself to other people, then how can you ever expect to stand out and achieve true mastery over everyone else?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just a great example of like how deep and like philosophical the ideas behind Dragon Ball are, and like how much meaning they can have in your life, or like how much relevance they have to real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Love it.
It's a great
I
show.
love it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm glad I had DBZ growing up. It's one of the best shows I got to watch as a kid.
Pretty badass. And that's basically the idea of my channel, was to mix two of the best things. Two of my favorite things in the world, right? Just GBZ and Starcraft.
Man, we're living it right now.
We're living it.
Casts like that, man. God dang. I'm happy.
That was fun.
I'm spoiled for choice right now, man. But you know what?
I gotta get out there and live, man. You're only gonna be young once. You know what I always say to young people now, like the people who are like 20 years old or something like that. Especially like these young guys who are really struggling to meet girls and stuff. Is like it only gets easier as time goes on. Like your ability to talk to people, like your ability to like act confident and like converse with women and meet women, it just gets easier and easier and easier as time goes on. Like you're at the very lowest point of your power when you're at like 20 years old, you know what I mean? Like this is like this is like the weakest you're ever gonna be in terms of game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just hold on. Just hold on. I know it's hard when you're 20 years old to get rejected by women over and over and over again, but like if you just keep going, you just keep dating and you get to like 25, maybe 30 years old, like things just get so much better. Don't you feel so, Shun? Or maybe it's just you just got to trip a little bit.
So that last
Gotta go on a trip
again.
I was just saying, like, as you age, you just become better and better at game. You know what I mean? Like it becomes easier and easier to meet people and to meet women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These guys just got to hang in there. The 20-year-olds who can't meet women and they're all crying about their incel and stuff.
They don't want to meet. Listen. There's not. But if there was anyone listening right now that was 20, my advice to them would be like, you don't want to meet women right now for like relationships. Ideally, you want to. If you do meet a woman, cool. But like, don't make that your prerogative. Like, sure, if you meet a woman, like you want to bang her or whatever, cool. But don't like make that your like life mission. Like at that age, like just do your own thing and like. The girls will come to you if you're doing your own thing and you're on it. Like girls will notice that and be gravitated towards that. You want the girl to chase you, not you chase the girl. There's a lot of guys out there chasing girls with their head, like and like it's crazy. Like one, the girls aren't attracted to that, and two, like you're not focusing on yourself and building up your value to make you attractive to the girl in the first place. That's not to say you have to be like some guy that goes to the gym 3 times a week. That's bullshit. Mainly, it's just like your own development of yourself, like your own confidence and your self-esteem and shit. As long as you've got that down, then you're fine. Like the gym stuff and everything else, that's all a bonus to like kind of give you more points. But really, you just need to have good self-esteem and focus on yourself in general, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be jacked. It's more important to be interesting. Being interesting is way more important.
Well,
and like you get interesting not by like when people say, "Oh, you got to work on yourself." A lot of people think go to the gym and go to work.
That's not
you know what I mean?
Though,
and like
because
that's not really true.
It's actually a trap as well because a lot of girls identify those guys as being insecure. They see that it's a guy that feels that he is lacking to the point that he needs to work out that much. A lot of girls actually identify insecurity in those guys and they don't realize it. So actually a lot of buff guys still struggle with girls.
It's crazy how many guys like the only thing that they have going for them is they have like a really good job and they make a lot of money. And then they're surprised when the only thing that a girl wants from them is their money, because that's the only girls that are interested in them. You know what I mean? It's girls who just want money because that's all you've got. You know what I mean? If you're not interesting, you don't have anything really going on for you. You haven't traveled, you haven't done anything interesting, but you just have money and you just worked like every day since you graduated, for a company that you've kind of like sold your soul to. They're just not interesting. It's fucking boring. Yeah. It's crazy how many people think that that's like self-development. I've been working on myself. It's like you've been working for your company, man. If you want to work on yourself, you got to like go out, do a couple mushroom trips, maybe do some ayahuasca or something.
Well, I mean, something to reset your brain at the end of the day, right? It's like trying to get some kind of factory reset on your brain so that you can then like start to restructure it and build it back up how you want it to be, rather than what is dictated to you by your like societal programming as a kid, right? Which is what's happening. All these guys, I don't mean this in a negative way, but all these guys have grown up with like these like kind of ideas from their parents, a lot of the times their mothers, about like, you know, what it is to be a man and shit. And a lot of times it's bullshit. A lot of time you got to find yourself as a man or a person. You know, you don't get told what a man is necessarily. You get shown what a man is, and you follow that by example. You need to make sure you've got good role models in your life. And this day and age, it's hard to find good role models. And a lot of times these kids are like they're getting caught up with the wrong kind of role models, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, and just because they're your parents doesn't necessarily mean they're great role models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if they're doing quite well, it's like their lifestyle might not be good for you. You know, the way that they're living their life it's probably the way they're living their life is because they have kids. You know, they have family. You know, they need that stability. They need that like 9-to-5 job that pays well, that, you know, they put their life, their heart and soul into, because they need that to be able to keep their family alive. But if you do that and that's all you do for your whole life, you become just like utterly boring, and your life becomes like devoid of meaning. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But like you were saying to me before off stream, there's such a lack of like actual connection for everyone, not just men, but human connection in general is that like a deficit. And what's crazy is that there's an industry that's literally based on loneliness, and that's been since the dawn of time, right? That's the most oldest profession in the book. That's like prostitution essentially, right? But we don't just have prostitution anymore. Like, look at the current like climate. It's crazy how much loneliness is exploited. But that also means that everyone is desperate for authentic connection, and that's not something you can buy. That's not something that's serviceable. And we live in a service-based industry. Everything is service-based. We're not producing our own goods anymore for the greater sake of things. So pretty much everything is service-based, and there's one thing you can't service, and that's actual authentic connection. That's one thing that everyone's in dire need of right now.
True. And you know, we're a part of that industry as well, right? Like streaming and making videos, and we're
100%.
we're communicating with people and filling a bit of that void as well, right? People that need a community, and like they're reaching out on the internet looking for community. But
well, all that media, all that stimulation, like say your phone, like I'm doing now, I'm getting like messages from people, right? And that like maybe gives me hits of dopamine and shit. But at the end of the day, I'm still sat here alone, right this second at least. I'm alone right this second, even though I have the illusion of connection because I'm talking to you. I've got people messaging me. I'm still alone. And that's the thing, is that we've got so much in reality distracting us from that fact. Everything is just like a pacifier to make you be okay with being alone. But people need to actually be okay with being alone, not just distracting themselves from being alone. They actually need to feel okay with being alone, like sitting with themselves in meditation without any distractions, for example.
right.
Then that will foster self-esteem and self-acceptance, and that will foster actual connection with people, because then you'll be able to form actual healthy attachment styles of people, and that will then lead to good relationships, and that will lead to not being alone, essentially.
Right. Exactly.
But what do I know? I'm just an idiot. I'm just a shaved ape.
We're all just apes, man.
Yeah, thin layer of civilization giving you the illusion of any kind of control. You know what I mean?
For sure. Oh, we finished up pretty quick here today. Just 3 hours, not too bad. Oh, almost 4, I guess. But I think we did a pretty good job. Do you plan to go to bed now? Are you down to do something? Maybe play some Zomboid?
I mean, I kind of have someone coming over soon, so I'm actually gonna have to dip.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to dip.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I would.
All right, you have a good time,
I
man.
would if I didn't have someone come over. I promise.
Enjoy your Valentine's Day.
I will. You too.
It is Valentine's Day still, right?
Well, it's the evening for me, so it's like late night Valentine's Day. But yeah, same difference.
We're the next day here, so
it's all right, guys.
It was yesterday for me.
You just got to find a fellow night owl to sort of like do a belated Valentine's Day with. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's been a really cool cast, man. It was an honor casting that with you. Great games, great cast.
Yeah, it was really fun, man. Man, you take it easy, all right? Have a good night.
You take it easy too. Good night, man.
All right. Good night.
Good night, stream. I'm bouncing. Have a good one. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.